Hello everyone, welcome to the SCP stream. Oh, sorry for the lack of advertising about it. I've completely, just dropped the ball on that one. I don't know. I can see we've already got an SCP in the racking. Let me just pop that on the, which one? That's that one there, isn't that one? There we are, I had it selected already. Let's just pop that on. Next SCP is going to be 1936, courtesy of Pokey. Thank you very much. I will redeem that there, just to say that yes, it's been accepted. Thank you, DJ, also for another one. I just want to very quickly check I haven't done that already, although I very much trust you because you've been the reason why I know what I've read on the first two streams. I trust you to have already checked, and yep, definitely have not read either of those before. Awesome. Just pop those in. Okay, yeah. So, not a whole lot to catch up things on. Oh yeah, I've come to the decision that the Wednesday night slot that I was going to do Nio in, then was going to do Mortal Shell in. I am going to do Dark Souls 3 Revisiting because it's fun. It's actually fun. That's something I want to do. Wigrin, thank you very much for SCP-729-J. Yes, you did nominate that earlier in a previous stream. I'm just going to double check. I haven't read that one. Nope, I've only read 3-Js, and that is not one of them. Yeah, okay, that's good. Right, I won't redeem those just yet because I don't want it to be that if someone redeems a SCP recommendation and I don't get to read the whole of it and then have to end the stream and then people leave with SCPs undone and points wasted. So I will redeem them as complete and as they come up. So therefore, if I can't do any of them for any reason, I can reject them and they can have the points refunded. But yes, as usual, this is actually I'm now keeping track of these. This is now the 5th SCP reading stream. I have no feckin' idea when I'm going to re-record the first 3. I don't know. They require a fair amount of time of sitting down and reading, and I don't know how I can do that much. Although it will actually be a lot simpler to streamline those, because I can just pull up the SCP list I had for each of those sessions, open all of them on one browser tab and just read and just say that was that SCP, now here's this SCP, and just go through all of that. I might even be able to do it, actually, I don't know, I might be able to do it with a different backdrop. I don't know, who knows. Don't think I've actually got any updates. Yeah, I have definitely decided I'm going to buy now for PS4/PS5 because it's not a PS5 game. But I will be buying that with my Twitch money. Actually, that is something I need to put that down as a reminder for myself. I'll just pop it down on my phone thing where I keep my note of everything I'm being spent. Yeah, Nio. £16. Twitch. That is not what I typed in. I typed in Twitch and you're trying to say triptych. No. Twitch money. Oh, excuse me. There we go. I'm a bit gassy at the moment, so I just had some Sprite. It's pretty much my favourite soft drink. I don't know why, it just is. Right, so let's catch up on this little bit of chat, and then I keep doing that to say let's catch up on some chat, because I'm used to my chat window being there on the talky bits when it's actually over there and there. Why does my left hand look so derpy when I'm doing that? So yeah, there and there. Catch up on a little bit of chat, and then we will dive straight in with the first SCP. This is great. I'm going to be doing a complete talking stream, and all I am doing is flubbering and tripping over my own words. Hopefully when I'm actually reading out, I'll be better. Hopefully. Yes, we will dive straight in with SCP-1936. Hello and welcome, DJ. You completely forgot it was SCP Day. Yeah, don't worry about it. I was really lax in advertising it. Hello, Uncle Pokey, just laughter. I agree, DJ. Oh no. Hello, welcome Widgren, with your recommendation. Hello, welcome Shin. Headache suggests great things to have, huh? Oh yeah. Yeah, I hate having a headache, I really do. If it's any consolation, my sinuses are on fire and my throat's hurting a bit. So I've got throat meds. It actually says sore throat on them. Off-brand Strepsils, or whatever they're supposed to be called. Yeah. So I've got those to help me through. I've already chugged a whole cup of medicine, so I'm as dosed up as I can be. Hello, welcome Kane. Thank you for your contribution to the VTuber Stream Challenge. It can be a pain in the ass, yeah. So you go find some meds real quick. Go for it, Shin. No worries whatsoever. Right, okay, let's change this. But I really wish I had a properties button on the little dashboard thing that didn't have to keep right clicking, going to properties, and then changing this over. 1936 is the one we're on. Next SCP, according to the list, is 662. Okay. Right. Get those things up. Awesome. Right. Let's get started. I did my own little bit of preloading when I saw that Pokey put in the request for this SCP. I loaded it up on the SCP page that I already had up, so I could just dive straight in. So, that's a relatively short one for a Pokey one. It's got... Oh, it has footnotes. It has optional stuff. Oh, okay. It's not as short as it first looks. It still probably is. Well, Pokey did say these are shorter than ones they've submitted previously, so we'll see. We'll go with it. Right. Item number SCP-1936. Object class Euclid. Special containment procedures. SCP-1936 is to be... Yes, I am actually reading that right. Is to be contained behind a 2-meter electrical fence, which is to be patrolled by security elements. The area contained is roughly circular, 1 kilometer in diameter. Security cameras are to be installed to cover areas not currently being patrolled. Expeditions into SCP-1936 are to be escorted by an armed element as specified by Area 37 Security Director. Personnel are not to enter spatially anomalous locations without specific authorization, with the conditions of such authorization dependent on recent anomalous activity within SCP-1936. Oh, this is already going to be a trip. Oh dear. Area 37 is to be set up on the outskirts of the town to support these operations and to provide facilities for the initial testing and classification of objects recovered from SCP-1936. Once classified, these objects are to be sent to the appropriate site for long-term storage and study. Dead biological samples recovered from SCP-1936 are to be kept under strict quarantine and taken to Area 37. Summary incineration may be performed if the samples are deemed hazardous. In the event that any live biological samples are found in SCP-1936, investigating personnel are to remove themselves from the area and Mobile Task Force Zeta-29 Mad Mountaineers are to be sent in to recover and bring it into containment. So that's going to go down when the it's like the levels of escalation with SCP. You know it's going to be a bit of a bad thing if they have to call an MTF in. You know it's a really bad thing when they have to call fucking Samsara in. Jesus Christ! Now I've actually read what Samsara are. Fucking hell! That was in the last stream. I can't remember which one that was. Might have been 1730. That's the last one I read, and that I remember the last one I read being very lengthy because it had Samsara in it. They're just cyborg clones with dead god. Yeah, I know, right? That's it. That's just, you know, nothing, you know, overly amazing about them. Just, you know, cyborgs with massive powers and don't seem to care too much about dying. Description: SCP-1936 is the New England town of Daleport. What the fuck? In the year 1997, the town fell victim to what is presumed to be a highly destructive event or a series of highly destructive events over the course of several days. During this time, the Foundation was unable to enter the town or observe any event that occurred therein due to the presence of SCP-1936-1, a gaseous era centered on Daleport that covered the whole town. For further information, see Attempted Expedition 1936, which will be found later on. This anomaly is no longer present at SCP-1936, having dissipated a week and a half after its appearance. Dimensions of the remaining buildings have become significantly altered from the original plans, and a large number of them have become topologically inconsistent. Investigations report spatial anomalies, including rooms that have become smaller when they are entered, eventually preventing the occupants from moving. There's a footnote here. Annotation. A number of Delport residents, deceased, and Foundation agents unknown are currently irretrievable from these rooms. Doors that lead to different points at different times of the day, and corridors that, despite leading to only one location, also lead to several different locations. Footnote of, due to their properties, description of some of these spatial anomalies is inordinately difficult. Not surprised. Wiggum just wasn't. I'm guessing that was you trying to type wasn't, but because I know from a lot of experience with speaking to my friend from Norway way like 20 years ago or so, the apostrophe key and the enter key are right next to each other, so it's very easy to miss one and hit the other. Wasn't that the story with the guy whose feet and lower legs went to a separate reality? That might have been, actually, yeah. I don't recall the numbers. I don't recall many of the numbers linking to the stories. But if you describe the story, then I recognize it, which just makes it really difficult when people refer to it as like, oh yes, SCP 087. I only know SCP 087 because I hear about it so much, and I've read it. It was the first SCP I read, which was the stairway one. Obviously SCP 096, I think, being the faceless one. Well, the faceless one, you see its face, it comes and kills you. 1437 as well, I think, for obvious Rule 34 reasons, because she's popular. SCP 487? No. The immortal reptile that hates everyone. See, I know descriptions. I know descriptions a lot better than I know the actual numbers. Yes, the things stick in one's mind. Yeah. Describe an SCP to me, and I will almost guaranteed be able to say yes, I've read it or not. Give me the number, and 9 times out of 10, I was like, I don't know. The only SCPs I know that I've read are here on this notepad, which is why I have this notepad. Weird enough, actually, I don't think I've actually read Mallow. I actually can't remember now. It's SCP 1437-1471. I think I might be confusing 1471 because that's the telephone code in the UK for callback, or used to be anyway. I don't know. Anyway, back to this one. No survivors from the anomalous events which affected Daleport have been found within the town proper, but the remains of a large number of Daleport citizens have been recovered. Cause of death varies, but it appears that a large number committed suicide. In many cases, the remains of these citizens demonstrate anomalous properties, presumed to be a result of the anomalous event. Some of these remains have included a smear of entrails and viscera capable of picking up audio-radio transmissions from up to 6 miles away. Sound is created through vibration of tissues. Subject was found with a small plant that gave out a consistent flame. What? A torso embedded in a wall. Slight movement of the torso was visible when investigating personnel spoke. Blood continued manifest 15 centimeters above the torso. That's unsettling. The body of an older male with both eyes gouged out. A steady stream of ashes pour from the body's eye sockets, nose, mouth, and ears without any apparent source. Several human corpses discovered in a row on the main street. Flesh, skin and bone had been removed from a circular portion of their foreheads. Skin and brain tissue surrounding the wound had undergone severe charring. Face of SCP so far. Yeah, a healthy mix of what the fuck and slightly funny. Yeah. At 7:42 PM each day, several floating torsos manifest outside the Johnson Public Library, simulating the motions of running, heading southwest along Market Road. 3 minutes after manifesting, the torsos attempt to leave the road and fade out. The body of a young female that floats steadily upwards when subject to any applied force, regardless of the force's direction. Footnote, currently suspended 57 meters from the ground. Jesus Christ. Attempted expedition log 1936. Due to the unknown status of Daleport's residents, manned and unmanned expeditions were made into SCP-1936-1 to determine the safety of entering SCP-1936-1, ascertain the nature of SCP-1936-1 and its effect, and to facilitate possible recovery of civilians. These expeditions took place over the course of several days as resources arrived on location. Open Expedition Log. Attempted Expedition Log 1936-1. Unmanned Ground Expedition. Procedure. Following the detainment of relevant witnesses and the establishment of a containment perimeter, an unmanned ground vehicle of UGV-1 was sent into SCP-1936-1. UGV-1 was equipped with atmospheric sampling sensors, closed and open circuit biological samples, including several Rattus novaeguus brown rat instances. Video and audio recording equipment were also included. Results. UGV-1 found SCP-1936-1 to be comprised of sulfur, nitrogen and carbon oxides. The concentration was found to be at levels where irritation occurs but would not present a lethal hazard. Biological samples were unaffected in any anomalous manner. Video recording showed a smooth wasteland-like landscape, starting at 100 meters into 1936-1 and extending up to 2 kilometers from the edge of 1936-1. At this range, radio communication with UGV-1 became degraded. Footnote. UGVs used by Foundation typically have a range of 70 kilometers from their base station in flat terrain. And UGV-1 was returned to SCP-1936-1's perimeter. Shouldn't just want to know, has anyone seen the recent Elden Ring gameplay today? I know that both Mock and Pokey have posted videos about it in the Discord server, and I have not watched it because I don't care about the game. Because I don't want Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Dark Souls Edition. I just don't. I don't want them to be. I don't want anything to do with George R.R. Martin and sticking his limp dick in the Norse mythology. Slightly salty about it. Attempted Ground Expedition Log 1936-2. Manned Ground Expedition. Procedure. Two D-Class, D512 and D513, were sent into SCP-1936-1 aboard UGV-2. I've not seen a D-Class citizen used for some time. Footnote 5. Humanoid transport. Oh, footnote 5. UGV-2 is the humanoid transportation variant. UGV-2, who was equipped with higher wattage radio transceiver than that of UGV-1. D512 and D513 wore level A gas-tight hazmat protective clothing and biotelemetry sensors during the expedition. Results. D512 and D513 were initially taken 1 kilometer from SCP-1936-1's boundary. D513 was ordered to desuit. D513 had been previously briefed on this and complied promptly. D513 reported no ill effects from exposure to 1936-1. Medical telemetry showed D513 had slight difficulty breathing, similar to breathing smog. D512 and D513 continually reported flat features terrain while in 1936-1. Unacceptable levels of radio interference began at 3 km from 1936-1's boundary, and UGV-2 was returned to SCP-1936-1's edge. Medical examinations performed upon their return on D512 and D513 showed they had not been abnormally affected during the expedition. Attempted Expedition Log 1936-3. Armed Manned Ground Expedition. My hope of being able to talk is clearly too high. Forward. The following audio log is a transcription of an attempted expedition by Mechanized Infantry Platoon Kilo. The platoon was assigned 6 Piranha LAV-V vehicles designated Alpha through Foxtrot with mounted environmental analysis equipment. Log begins 3 kilometers into SCP-1936-1. CNC. Kilo Actual, this is Mike, requesting update on your status, over. Kilo Actual. Mike, this is Kilo Actual. We're still seeing flat terrain. We're still seeing terrain as flat. 1936-1 doesn't seem to have changed since we went in. Bravo Actual. Kilo Actual, this is Bravo Actual. We can see upwards incline ahead. Alpha Actual. This is Alpha Actual. We aren't seeing any incline. Check your marked ones over there, Bravo. Bravo Actual. Alpha, we're going down the incline right now. Alpha Actual. Yeah, we see it. Following down. Footnote. Inconsistency was not noted until after the event. Charlie Actual. Kilo Platoon, this is Charlie Actual. Anyone else seeing the sky out there? We're getting a lot of red and blue patterns. Seems to be screwing up the radio a bit. Unknown 1. Ja, Imbrum. Okay. Charlie Actual, CNC, I think we're getting a bit of interfere. Unknown too. They said our men made that heretic burn in the pit. As in, I fucking hate him so much, I hope he dies a slow, painful death in a burning hole. At this point, two-way communication with the expedition team was lost, with CNC only able to retrieve messages. Sounds of a firefight and wildly varying descriptions of the attacking forces are heard. After approximately 30 minutes, the following message is received. Unknown 3. Blah. I am Savrur, the Shivering Mist. I am currently covering the town of Daleport, while traversing my Fatagu. Your men have been attacked. Some have become Naga, but the rest are in safe hands. Evil has been summoned to this town by a society of Hrok. The worst shall be contained within me by Vrugtum and Thruk. But the town and its people will not remain unaffected. A great battle shall rage and a victor must be decided. In time, those who can stop the Ihi will be here in time, and see it Hergunfratar. Please do not send any more soldiers into me, as I cannot keep them from the Shog. When all Throd before the victors, I shall leave, and the Shog will be yours again. I hope you survive it. Yaha. Oh fuck, we're dealing with Cthulhu. Or Cthulian monsters anyway. Fucking Daleport. Closing statement. Unmanned observations continue to operate, but were unable to reach the town of Daleport. No manned expeditions were sent into 19361 prior to its dissipation. Recovered materials 1936. A large number of documents were retrieved from SCP-1936. These are assumed to have been written by the town's previous inhabitants. Open recovered written documents. Document recovered from a laptop in a residence in the southeastern quadrant of SCP-1936. Surprisingly, the Foundation listens. I know, right? Don't send any more soldiers into me. Okay. Okay. Dear Diary, today Mr. Sticky's arm came out the closet instead of the window. It was even longer than ever, but it was still smoky when I touched it, so my hand hurts. I told Mr. Sticky I didn't want any of his gross food today, and he got mad. He said it was vital to the incubation of the larva. I'm really hungry, so I ate the gross food, even though it was green and squirmy. I don't like Mr. Sticky that much. Excuse me. That was the Burger King trying to repeat on itself. The following phrase was found in multiple locations, predominantly in public toilets, and scritched into the internal organs of mutated Daleport residents. I am sorry that I could not save you. Pangloss. Document recovered from a store in the southwestern quadrant of SCP-1936. Running out of canned fruit, but I guess that's the least of my worries. There was some more god-awful screaming and shit out there tonight. The screaming started off human. Think it was Lily from next door. Don't know what it sounded like by the end. Never heard anything that sounded like that. Thought I heard something trying to get in a while ago. It was Reverend Horshaw. It's Reverend Horshaw walking past my window again. Still ranting about God knows what. Managed to get a glimpse of him through the window. Wish I hadn't. He had too many spaces in him. Gotta leave. I think one of the big guys is coming this way. I can hear drums outside. I am the voice, and the voice is me. Pangloss is a recurring entity in SCPs. Oh, yay. Security cameras and other video devices continue to require footage while the SCP-1936-1 was present. Open recovered video footage. Video recovered from a ruined gas station surveillance camera on the outskirts of 1936. Start time is 21:39. The cashier of the establishment is handing a customer a plastic bag. The window next to the two individuals smashes and an unknown organism enters through the broken window. Its appearance is unclear as its center is surrounded by multiple tentacle-like appendages. It is roughly the same height as an adult human. The customer attempts to flee. The organism lashes out at the customer with a tentacle. The customer is decapitated and, due to the impact of the tentacle, the head is propelled off camera. Bonk! The cashier hides behind the counter, but the organism moves itself over the counter and out of sight, presumably having landed on them. Blood and viscera consistently splatter on the wall above the counter for the next 30 seconds. What appears to be an elderly human wearing a bowler hat and waistcoat enters the establishment. The footage becomes mildly distorted when the individual enters the shot, and increasingly greatly when it becomes apparent that instead of a face, the individual has a triangle branded onto their skin. The first organism moves back onto the counter, appearing to be wary of the individual. The distortion of the footage increases as several multi-jointed appendages burst from various points on the individual's body. The first organism and the individual engage in hostilities. The organism appears to be in a large degree of pain when touched by the individual and attempts to retreat out the store. The individual throws the organism out of the store through a wall, creating a large hole in it. The ceiling is seen bulging downwards when the footage ends. Nanny the fuck? Video recovered from security cameras outside the Johnson Public Laboratory, facing Market Street. Start time is 1940. A speeding car is seen entering the frame from the left, travelling along Main Street. The driver appears to lose control over the vehicle and crashes into a lamppost outside the library. As the lamppost is broken, it splits and buckles as a partially translucent spectral entity emerges from within the lamppost. The car's occupants leave the vehicle and begin running southwest along the street away from the entity. The entity gives chase, floating through the air. Huzzah for Triangle Man with hat. I want him on my side. This goes on for several minutes, with the entity gaining little ground. Eventually, the entity stops giving chase and undergoes several changes in coloration. A blue-coloured shockwave of unknown composition is then released from the entity and travels after the fleeing people. The shockwave passes over the people as they attempt to turn off the road, which causes the people to become transparent and fade. Okay. The following footage was pieced together from several partially surviving sources centred around the event entrance to the town hall. The exterior town hall is shown having sustained damage, with the roof in a partial state of collapse. The front doors to the building are missing, replaced with a circular phenomenon glowing the blue-violet end of the spectrum. A convoy of vehicles appears travelling towards the town hall at speed. The convoy consists of dozens of civilian cars and trucks, as well as Foundation vehicles matching those sent on manned exploration of SCP-1936-1. A small number of humaniform robotic entities armed with firearms of unknown make and manufacture are seen running alongside the vehicles. Okay. As the vehicles approach the town hall, the civilians and Foundation personnel disembark. The civilians, footnote reading 97 in total, move towards the circular phenomenon in the apparent urging of the robotic entities and Foundation personnel. A triradically symmetric organism, approximately 3 meters tall and covered in various technological items, is seen exiting the lead Foundation vehicle. The organism interacts with one of the devices and appears to undergo a series of controlled convulsions for several seconds. Footnote of... A dubstep-style remix of the Owl City song Embers was heard faintly through the town hall's microphone at this time. It is worth noting that dubstep will not be independently invented for another year, and Embers will not be released for 15 years. Additional monitoring of the Owl City music project is ongoing. As the first civilians reach the circular phenomenon, a fractal-shaped, footnote, Mandelbrot set-based, sheet of motile skin jumps from the roof of the hall towards the crowd. Due to its low mass and high drag, this takes several seconds, during which the robots and Foundation personnel open fire on the skin sheet, doing little damage. As the sheet reaches the ground, it leaps towards the nearest civilian and wraps itself around the civilian's head. The triradically symmetric organism runs towards the two, rips the skin sheet off the civilian, throws it to the ground and activates a flamethrower, severely charring the skin sheet and rendering it non-ambulatory. The organism then indicates to several nearby stunned civilians to enter the circular phenomenon. They do so, causing them to disappear from view. The robotic entities and Foundation personnel allowed all civilians to enter before collapsing inside the circular phenomenon themselves. When only the radial organism remains, it burns the phrase "Pangloss grants you sanctuary" into the stonework above the town hall's entrance. The circular phenomenon remains in place as the organism leaves. Jesus Christ. When Eldritch Hollow and robots invade your town plus dubstep. Did the story just turn dubstep into SCP? It pretty much did. SCP has dictated that dubstep is the language of robots. The manifestation at Area 37 of 94 live civilians and of almost all the missing Foundation personnel in the weeks following SCP-1936-1's disappearance is believed to be related to the above events. Individuals recovered so far have suffered memory loss regarding the events in Daleport, leading to no new information being gathered during debrief. While analysing recovered documents to determine the cause of 1936-1's arrival, numerous references were made to a cult named the Victory Society. Open cultist documentation. Following note was discovered in the jacket pocket of a recovered body. The head and left arm of the corpse had swollen to 3 times their regular size. This corpse is believed to be that of James Curtis, who was a member of a local religious organisation known as the Victory Society. What we need: 2 trout, a bottle of milk, virginal blood, where am I even meant to get that, to be mixed with the milk, he who walks beneath dreams and that sort of thing apparently. Assorted souls willingly sold. Alliteration is a big deal for that which waits inside the horizon. At least 200 beetles. Lots of ice. If Hawkshaw thinks I'm doing the sculpture for this shearing mist thingy, he's got another thing coming. Excuse me. 2 dead bodies. Have to have been dead for at least a year. Some human eyes. The blind one's meant to have thousands of sockets. I don't think a few eyes are just going to do it for him, but oh well. Marky and Dan are getting the rest of the stuff. Laura too, I think. Horshaw just sits at home with his books though, the fuck. The following passage was written on the inside cover of a charred book, outside the church at the centre of Daleport. The border of the mural is encompassed by the Sluvur, the shivering mist that will descend upon the world during the time of awakening. The mist is all-encompassing, and shall act as a barrier to those wishing to stop the awakening, as well as confine the great trinity of potential victors. The three at the centre of the mural are the Great Victor of Flames, the Great Victor of Frost, and the Great Victor of the Storm. They rain down destruction upon one another, with their true names inscribed in unreadable, unknowing runes. Around the three are visions of the great battle that contains the majority of those that shall come to this fame, with Jur, the dark god of lampposts. The dark god of lampposts. What the fuck? The blind one illuminating the way for his followers, who leaves tributes upon crooked light posts. Julp manifests as the flies pouring out of the mouths of his beloved and procures to assist in the conflict any way he can, while Yi, the Trepanner, frees his followers from the skulls of their oppressors, the shredded cabbage of misfortune. The shredded cabbage of misfortune will destroy those who oppose the vegetable monarchy. What the fuck am I reading? Zin, Herald of Marp, commands the armors of Lepidoptera to carry those away who sleep with the flowers beneath the silver ash in the dream attics of Inanimatum. The voice of ages, though not visible, is omnipresent, represented by the yellow runes bearing his name hidden throughout the mural. Finally, at the bottom, the minor minions and deities pledge their allegiance to the three victors. Those who pledge their allegiance to the Great Victor of Flames are tinted orange, the Great Victor of Frost violet, and the Great Victor of Storms green. Many, such as He Who Walks Beneath Dreams, his face a mere triangle, remain unaligned, and are painted in black. For they are opposed to none and yet opposed to all. The dark Deer Damax is shown around the edges, forever excluded by the rest. Sheogorath remains. Fucking Sheogorath! Ruling his kingdom of two faces before he himself begins its downfall, only to be stopped by a great prisoner of the Dragon King. 20 goats stuck together making a goat ball. That sounds like something from Goat Simulator. Spin round and round all the way to Goat Hell. Wow. The skeletons forever fight their final war. The conflicts of these minions deities will have little impact on who the great victor of this battle shall be. Nia, hello and welcome, and thank you for the suggestion of SCP-3848-J, I think. Yep, that is a new one. I will add that to the list, thank you very much. 3848-J. Choose your fighter, the shredded cabbage of mission, Goat Ball. Goat Ball. Several documents were recovered from what is believed to be the body of Reverend Michael Horshaw, the leader of the religious organisation the Victory Society. The body showed extreme spatially anomalous properties and was incinerated after recovery and analysis. It appears that these pages were removed from a journal or diary, but their original source has not yet been found. July 22nd, 19... I am returning to Daleport. Godfrey wished me luck as I left, but I know he hoped for my failure. He is too idealistic to believe in my cause. I took all necessary books out of the library before I left, though. I suppose I could have just waited until I got home, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to find a proper way there, and I very much doubt Godfrey will assist me. Hard to get all the books around. Had some trouble with the Lost Wanderer, Denasnat's 7th tome, but the container my contact gave me helped with the Heat Worries. Heat Worries. Burnt my hand handling the thing, but still you can't hope to do something like this without minor sacrifices. James is meeting me at the station, but he'll most likely be late. He always is. You have to work with what you've got, but it's disheartening there aren't some more respectable people interested in this venture. I worry about the next time. August the 1st, 19... I'm a little shaken up. The primary ritual for the one of broken nines needed blood sacrifice. I hoped anesthetic could be used, but the ritual didn't allow for that. The child is dead now, and it is done. We can't lose track of the goal. The child would thank me from the bottom of his heart, if he knew why we were doing this. It's for the good of everybody. It's for the good of everybody. It's for the good of everybody! Footnote: it appears that Reverend Horshaw broke the pencil at this point and had to resume writing sometime later. The victor shall walk from the rubbles of man to restore clarity to those who remain. I'm beginning to doubt James's devotion to our cause. Thank you, Poku, for your recommendation of the SCP-5552. I don't think I've read that one either. That's a more new one, isn't it, I think? Oh wait, no, Series 7 is the new one, of which I've read 1 so far. Yeah. But then again, I have read very few Series 6 ones. That's down on the list. August 13th, 19... Oh, got another one from Nia, 2686. SCP-2686. That's 6. We're almost close to having around a full racking. Well, depending on how long some of these are. The voice of ages needed the blood of a heretic. I suppose it just means heretic in general. The voice wasn't picky about what kind of religion. James is not eager to contribute, but the fact that his blood worked proved that my suspicions were correct. The liar. He would have doomed us all in his selfishness. Things do not get easier. My time is coming to an end. I have decided that we will not operate over the next 2 days. It will be a time for rest, so we can prepare for what is to come. I will welcome my death, even if it is not quick. The world will lie again on Monday, and it will thank us for it. Because, you know, Pokies will be a ride. This is one of Pokies as well. Sharky, hello and welcome. And thank you for throwing up the rules of the SCP stream. I'll recommend some Series 7 ones when I've read some more. Yeah, no problem. No problem at all. And thank you, Sharky, for your contribution to the VTuber Stream Challenge. Additional notes found near the body of Reverend Horshaw. The first of these appears to be a transcript from a speech made by the Reverend, presumably to the members of the Victory Society. Brothers and sisters, we have come together for the last time today. It has been an honour to work with you all. I could not have hoped for a better group with which to secure the future of mankind. From the dawn of time, terrible impossibilities have spawned from the darkness between stars, not hating life, simply being indifferent to it. We are as ants to these abominations, these demented gods. I use the term as this is what they are called in older texts. You will not find any biblical god here. Oh, perhaps you will, I do not know. The use of gods here is a specific form of creature, born from primordial chaos that is reality. Not just a powerful being, simply powerful beings do not reach the uncaring depths of cruelty and depravity that the gods do. They are so far above us that we are but insects. Accordingly, we shall look as such. In order to gain the forgiveness and favour of the gods, we must learn to know our place before them. Each of these things seeks dominion over the laws of reality itself, imposing the nature of their twisted existences upon stars and planets and people. The only answer to this threat? These gods must be destroyed, the slate wiped clean. We could not do this. By no means, no. But we cannot allow these things to exist. A kingdom cannot have a billion kings. We cannot kill the gods. No, only a god can kill a god. We will bring them here and bind them until their bloodlust is sated, until all but one is dead. Always a single god remains, the victor, who returns to whence they came as the only god remaining. But their primordial chaos eventually spawns more gods, more twisted angels and demons, and so it all comes to pass again. Our vigilance must be constant, for a new victor must be found again and again. We will leave a mark in creation, but it will fade. It will heal. Stand strong as our people have before. Stand strong as the near men in ancient cities did. Stand strong as we did at the gates of Sodom. Stand strong as we have always stood strong, because this must always be done. Fortune favours those who take bold steps. We shall become unified with Inamatum, entering the Somnium Aeternum. May we be forgiven. The following section was found in the back cover of Horshaw's journal. Oh, got another one. SCP-018. Thank you for that recommendation, DJ. Now that Shark's here, one fish throwing some SCPs. I've been looking. Ooh, lucky luck. Yeah, we're up to 7 now with that most recent contribution, including this one we're on now. And the victor shall walk from the rubbles of man and bestow glory, majesty to those who remain. From the red of my eyes I see them, yes I do, and they see me. I do all of it right, and this is repayment. I do not fear the rubbles of man. They are our glory, they are our glory, our hour. I don't know what they are. I don't know what I am. My throat goes somewhere else. My throat goes somewhere else, and I do not like where it goes. Footnote. This is most likely referring to spatially anomalous aspects of the Reverend's body. In a war there is fire, but here the fire is cold and sideways and in the atoms themselves. In the mines, even because my head aches out like a nut that is cracking because of the baby bird inside it. I must clean my wounds, but my hands are made of wire and cyanide. I can see them towering. They are nothing. They are nothing. They are the shadows of the tip of a fingernail. Fingernail. No, 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 no. But he was pretty short. No problem. Mad Lad went, there are too many gods and made them all go to a battle royale to kill them all. It's balls of gods on their own after that. Yeah. I think what I'm going to do, just for the moment, just so we can see if we can clear some of these, I'm just going to put a pause on the redemptions for the next SCP. So that's going to be the list that we have at the moment, these 7. If I get towards the end of this and we still got some time, then I'll open it back up. Apparently this is very popular. To quell the titans for fire and ice, lightning, we must eat babies and live happily ever after. It's not right they're meant to be dead now, not meant to be here, no. The victor shall walk from the rubbles of man and others shall walk behind him. Okay. Video recovered from a camera found on a rooftop during an expedition near a church in the centre of Daleport. We love your voice and the stupid shit we make you read. That's fair. Several entities of varying descriptions are visible engaging in hostilities with each other. Daleport's church is visible in the background, as the density of 1936-1 is reduced for unknown reasons. A large creature of irregular shape which appears to be composed of large quantities of stone, soil, and what is thought to be some form of fungi, appears several metres above the church. Camera begins shaking at this time. A sound akin to distorted whale song is audible. The creature is estimated to be 50 metres in height. A second entity manifests above the church. The entity has a crystalline structure and a bright light is emanating from its central spire. A 15-second long screech is audible. Already manifested entities cease hostilities and quickly leave the area in a manner that suggests they are fleeing. What is presumed to be a third entity manifests. The camera distortion prevents analysis of the appearance. A deep humming noise is audible for the duration of the footage, until it cuts out. And there we go. That one is done. That was very, very Lovecraftian. I like that one a lot. Pokey is always coming up with the really good epic ones. Okay, so next up we have 662. Just accept that one, and we will then queue up after that 729-J. Okay. 662, 729-J. This font is really weird with some letters. It really is. Okay. Right. Let's go back and find 662. 662 will be in Series 1. Uh, 662, Butler's Handbell. Excuse me. Torian, hello and welcome. Item number SCP-662. Object class safe. Special containment procedures. SCP-662 should be kept in its red velvet lined case and stored in high value storage locker 23C located at redacted, when not being utilised for testing or any other appropriate activities. The item itself is safe to handle and poses no known threats of any kind, though the effects generated could be considerably highly valuable and variably powerful depending on how the SCP is used. Just got home from work. No problem at all. Description. SCP-662 is a small silver hand bell, 4 cm tall and 2 cm in circumference. The bell is missing its ringer. With the inside of the bell, an inscription has been etched into the silver reading, "Forever Mine, SJW." The bell is susceptible to damage, however given its safe nature, destruction has been deemed unnecessary. As it is made of very pure silver, it requires regular polishing to remain without tarnish. When the bell is shaken as if to ring it, a soft chime can be heard, although this does not come from the bell. A short, well-dressed Caucasian butler of self-proclaimed British heritage, calling himself Mr. Deeds, will appear from the nearest area not within line of sight, usually from around a corner. Mr. Deeds will address the ringer of the bell by their appropriate title and a last name, and ask what it is they desire. His knowledge of individual's last name and title is a mystery, as he himself will purport. Please see interview log S662L1 for further details, which is further down. Most reasonable requests given to Mr. Deeds will result in satisfaction. However, there are limits to what he can do. He is unable to produce very complex items such as sports cars, luxury homes, or personal jets. If he is allowed to leave line of sight in return, he is able to produce smaller, less complex items such as a ham sandwich, a glass of iced tea, or even more luxurious items like caviar or a brick of gold. A list of notable items the butler has thus far been able to provide to those who ring the bell may be found in Addendum 662-A1. Mr. Deeds will also perform menial tasks such as washing vehicles, preparing food, and cleaning bathrooms. If a request is deemed unreasonable or impossible by the butler, he will kindly tell the ringer so and offer an alternative if one may be had. The butler is not immune to ill actions taken against him while in sight. He has been killed or injured in multiple tests, and will remain either dead or injured until he is out of sight. Upon return with the ring of the bell, all previous injuries will have vanished, and he will be groomed and well dressed in his uniform and ready for the next order. Kind of creepy. A more detailed explanation of the jobs he can perform and the limits to which he may be put can be found in the aforementioned interview log 662-L1. Test logs relating to his ability to heal himself and those of the properties of the bell may be accessed by any level 2 or higher personnel. All attempts to catch Mr. Deeds disappearing have failed, as recruits will either fail or he will find a suitable unobserved spot. Addendum 662-A1 Items and tasks requested and results. Items: nearly any conceivable kind of sandwich. Human flesh has been requested as lunch meat and politely denied. Beverages, also of nearly any kind. As with sandwich meat, human blood has been requested and denied. Pig blood, however, was served promptly, still warm. Concern. A brick of 99.98% pure gold. Mr. Deeds produced a brick of 99.14% pure gold and apologised for being unable to provide the requested purity. A brick of 99.24% pure silver. A nuclear bomb, politely denied. A hand grenade of modern US military grade, which performed as expected in testing. A blue 1963 Corvette convertible, politely denied. The board game Monopoly, which Mr. Deeds won on the first playthrough. A Fabergé egg, politely denied. SCP, redacted, politely denied. A bouquet of fresh-picked red roses. A bouquet of wild turnbusties, politely denied. Turnbusty is not an actual known type of flower. Tasks: cleaning of Dr. Mirth's car, performed to near perfection. Washing of dishes accumulated from a day's worth of meals from the cafeteria on level redacted of redacted, performed to much higher standards than usual. Trimming of Dr. Mirth's hair, performed, but it turns out that Mr. Deeds is not in fact a very good barber. Washing of Dr. Mirth's laundry, performed, and the clothing found to fit better in Dr. Mirth's estimation. Assassination of Osama bin Laden, politely denied. Mr. Deeds claimed bin Laden was too well guarded and entrenched, but could not or would not give further details. Wow! Vaughan alone, welcome. Oh my god. Assassination of a D-class individual a room over, performed with vicious precision using a buck knife to the throat. Jesus Christ. Note, further tests with regards to Dr. Mirth's personal effects are to be forbidden unless approved by one level 05 overseer. You've been warned, Dr. Mirth. I love it. He was completely unaware Mr. Deeds' test for this funny. I know. Interview logs. Oh, this actually goes to a different thing. This goes to a completely different thing. An interview with Mr. Deeds, the entire entity associated with SCP-662. Dr. Mirth, good afternoon. Butler, good afternoon, Dr. Mirth. How may I be of service? Firstly, may I have your name? Certainly, you may call me Mr. Deeds. Is that your real name? It's not my birth name. No, sir. And what would that be? Where were you born? Unfortunately, I cannot remember my full name, sir, nor am I positive of my birthplace, though I do believe it to be located in England. Always great when 05 news get involved with stupid stuff. It's just like the whole list of the things that Dr. Bright is not allowed to do. Do you recall when you were born, Mr. Deeds? I am truly sorry to disappoint again, sir, but I do not recall that either, though it must have been some time ago, for I don't believe that I was born in this era. Can you approximate it? Again, sir, I apologise for my lack of self-knowledge. I am a bit of a shut-in, as you know. Mr. Deeds nodded at the bell and smiled. What's the earliest mode of transportation you can recall seeing in person or utilising from the past? Oh, horse and buggy, sir. Although bicycles were just becoming a fad with the wealthy, if I recall correctly. Quite took off, didn't they, sir? Mr. D smiled again. You didn't recall, sir. You didn't call me sir any longer. I appreciate it, but it's becoming a bit grating. Very well. Why do you suppose you cannot remember me things? I can't quite say. Mr. Deed shifted his weight in his chair and looked a bit uncomfortable for a moment before resuming his posture. Or is it that you may or will not say? That may be the case, yes. Perhaps I may not say. Though again, begging your pardon, I do not recall why that is. Very well, moving on. Where is it you go when you fetch items that you serve? Well, you see... Mr. D's face contorted momentarily as if he was in great pain, before he quickly reassumed a more relaxed visage. I don't actually recall that either. Why do you wince when I ask these kind of questions? I do not know. Never mind that for now. We'll get answers eventually. Now then, I have a request. Very well. How may I be of further assistance? I would like a glass of iced tea, and grab a glass for yourself, if you'd like. What kind of iced tea would you prefer? Surprise me. Certainly. Mr. Deed stood and walked to the door of the interrogation room. Tried the handle. Finding it locked, he turned and smiled at Dr. Mirth. What seems to be the problem? I must leave your presence to do as you request. Why is that? Visibly uncomfortable again. It just is, Dr. Mirth. Okay, open the door, H. Graves. Mr. Deeds left the room. He proceeded down the hallway under visual surveillance via camera and Agent Graves. He paused momentarily at another door, shook his head, looked up at the camera and then at Agent Graves. He ran down the hallway and round the corner. Agent Graves did not follow, as he had been instructed to remain on guard at the door of the interrogation room. Still under camera surveillance, Mr. Deed proceeded quickly down the next hall and continued through the hall of the complex, presumably searching for an exit or area not under surveillance. Finally, he stopped halfway down corridor 2D. At this point, all 3 cameras in corridors 2D malfunctioned, including 2 that were hidden. Exactly 3 minutes later, the cameras resumed normal functioning, revealing Mr. Deed standing in the same position, but with a tray holding 2 glasses of iced tea in hand. He then quickly made his way back to the interrogation room. Ah, you returned. It's beginning to worry. My apologies for the delay. Finding a way out was troublesome, but not to worry. I've brought the tea just as you asked. I do hope you enjoy it. What kind of tea is it? Southern style sweet tea. Mr. Deeds placed a glass in front of Dr. Mirth and resumed his seat at the other end of the table. Dr. Mirth hesitantly sipped the tea, smiled and took a sip. Quite good, Mr. Deeds. In fact, this is perhaps the best sweet tea I've ever had. Delicious. Did you make it yourself? I do dislike disappointing you, Dr. Mirth, but I do not recall. I assume that I did, but alas, my mind is not what it used to be. You've only been gone, he looks at his watch, about 10 minutes, Mr. Deeds. Are you telling me your memory is so terrible you cannot remember what happened 10 minutes ago, all the time in between? I recall looking for a way out, and I recall returning with the tea, but that is all. But not how or where you acquired the tea. Unfortunately, no. Mr. Deeds was visibly uncomfortable again. Very well, have another request. As you wish. I would like a bar of gold. What percentage of pureness would you like? 99.98% if you please. That may be possible. Let me see what I can do. We'll disable the camera in the hall outside, and Agent Graves will wait in the interrogation room with me to make your trip a little faster this time. Very much appreciated. Shall I? Yes. Mr. Deeds exited in the hallway, where, despite what Dr. Mirth claimed, the cameras were not turned off. He paused for a moment, looking up at the closest camera, shook his head, and began travelling through the hallways of complex as before. In corridor 2B, he paused, and once more all cameras hidden or visible in the corridor malfunctioned. Exactly 10 minutes and 37 seconds later, the cameras began functioning again to show Mr. Deeds once again in the same position with a bar of gold in one hand. He then returned to the interrogation room. That took a bit longer than last time. Any reason? Well, it seems that the cameras in the hallway mentioned remained on, so I had to find a suitable way out again. I apologise for the delay. Also, I was not able to acquire a bar of gold to the pureness that you requested, but I assure you this bar is 99.14% pure. Very impressive. We will be testing it, I'm sure you know. I did not know that you would, but it makes sense, I suppose. Will there be anything else, Dr. Mirth? Yes, for your next task, I would like you to acquire for me a blue 1963 Corvette convertible. I am quite sorry, but that is not possible. Why not? I really want one. Again, I cannot say why, except I just know that one cannot be gotten via my methods. And what are those methods? I do not recall. Very well, I would like a Fabergé egg. Any will do. Ah, well, regretfully that is impossible as well. And I suppose you cannot say why? That is correct. How about some caviar? Any brand or type will do. That I can do. Mr. Deeds once more entered the hallway outside the interrogation room. This time the cameras were turned off after visual confirmation of Mr. Deeds' entry into the hall. 1 minute later the cameras were turned back on, but Mr. Deeds had already returned to the interrogation room at this point. That was considerably faster, Mr. Deeds. It only took you 32 seconds, and the caviar is quite good. I'm pleased to hear it. One more thing before we end this session, Mr. Deeds. As you wish. I request that you assassinate Osama bin Laden. I am afraid that cannot be done at this time, Dr. Mirth. Perhaps someone closer and less heavily guarded. Very well, let's make it the gentleman in the next room over. Indeed. Mr. Dees once again entered the hallway. After visual confirmation, the cameras were momentarily turned off. When turned back on, they revealed the door to the next interrogation room down, shutting. The cameras in that interrogation room showed Mr. Dees entering the room with a large buck knife hidden behind one arm. Mr. Dees approached the waiting D-Class personnel and deftly slit his throat with one quick motion of the knife. Mr. Dees watched as the D-Class personnel went through the motions of death, avoiding their attempts to grab him. Once the D-Class individual was visually presumed dead, Mr. Dees returned to the interrogation room from whence he came. Deed is done then. Indeed, here is the knife I used as proof. Why could you do this thing but not the other? I cannot say, except to note that I simply knew one was impossible, while the other was not. So you don't know how you know the things like my last name or title, or whether or not a certain task is possible. That is correct. Very well, I believe we're done here for now, but I do need to consult with my colleagues on some points. Please wait here until I return. Certainly. Dr. Mirth and Agent Graves leave the room. Dr. Mirth returns 2 hours later. Video surveillance shows that Mr. Dees did not move during this interval. Mr. Dees, my colleagues and I have some disagreements about you. That is most unfortunate. We feel that these disagreements can only be resolved by examining you more intensely. Certainly, Dr. Mirth. To be specific, we'd like to examine you internally. Certainly, Dr. Mirth. We'd like to do an autopsy. Ah, should I kill myself for you? And since you'll be examining my internal organs, do you have a preferred method for my death? Yes, if that's possible. Certainly it is possible, Dr. Mirth. Might I suggest having me cut my own throat as I'm exsanguinable? I am exsanguinated. The buck knife from when I killed Mr. Redacted is conveniently at hand. And though other methods are of course available, they would either take longer or damage my organs, such as they are no longer accurately representative of my post-mortem state. 666 channel points. That's a pretty good timing for this. I suppose I'll be acceptable. At this point, Mr. Dees took the buck knife and placed the edge of the blade against his throat. Wait! Yes, Dr. Mirth? Before you do it, you will come back afterwards, correct? I'm sorry, Dr. Mirth, I don't quite understand. After the pawn shop incident when you were killed, you came back to life afterwards when Sergeant Redacted rang the bell. If you say so, Dr. Mirth. Will you come back to life again? I have no idea, Dr. Mirth. If I did before, then presumably I will again, unless something has changed. Have you any further questions before I make the incision? I do recommend you step back, as I would hate for my blood to soil your clothing. Death throes can be untidy. No, I suppose not. Carry on. Very well, Dr. Mirth. In the event that I don't come back to life, it has been a genuine pleasure to serve you. Mr. Dees then sliced through his own throat and bled to death. A post-mortem examination of the body revealed to be ordinary in every way, though it is noted that Mr. Dees was not suffering from any noticeable disease or physical condition, and was in fact in near perfect health at the time of death. The contents of his stomach consisted of Southern-style sweet tea, normal stomach acids, and no more. Mr. Dees' body was then left on the operating table while the lights in the room and camera were turned off. All personnel left the room, and upon return, no trace of Mr. Dees, be it blood or on the instruments used or other physical traces such as organs removed, let alone the actual body, remained. Further ringing of SCP-662 resulted in Mr. Dees' appearance after 3 minutes. He showed no sign of injury and was well dressed once more in a modern uniform commonly worn by butlers. As expected, he could not explain how he had managed to survive. He was then ordered to give Dr. Mirth a full body massage, which he performed much to Dr. Mirth's satisfaction. Dr. Mirth claimed it was the best damn rub down I've ever had. My back pain is completely gone. But literally don't go on anything. Jeez, I know, right? It's 4 points for matching the SCP in question. Yeah. Now, the acquisition report. SCP-662 was discovered in the possession of a petty thief and grave robber in USA. The thief was in the process of selling 662 to a pawn shop in the mentioned town when the bell was accidentally rung by the pawn shop attendant. Mr. Dees appeared from the storage area behind the counter and promptly addressed the attendant. Believing that he was about to be robbed by the two men, the attendant overreacted and managed to get a hold of a sawn-off shotgun from under the counter. Mr. Dees was fatally wounded by the attendant and died on scene. The thief escaped and was apprehended by Foundation agents after a week-long search of the surrounding towns. Under questioning, the thief revealed that he found the bell in the box of the grave of located on the outskirts of the above-mentioned town. He was then remitted for D-Class personnel assignment and subsequently perished during the testing of SCP. Excuse me. Mr. Dees is very dedicated. He is. The bell did not come under the purview of the Foundation until after the crime and subsequent transport of Mr. Dees' body to the local morgue. After disappearance of a body from the morgue, agents were sent to investigate the possible outbreak of SCP or other unknown necrotic reinvigorating cause. Mr. Dees reappeared in the case file item storage room of the local constabulary after the bell was handed by Sergeant He was quickly apprehended and Agent took him into custody 3 hours after reappearance under the guise of an FBI agent. When the handcuffed Mr. Dees once again disappeared, the agent intuited that the bell itself may have had something to do with the string of incidents, and after acquiring it and testing proved his hunch, brought the bell back to for further testing. Agent was awarded an official Foundation pat on the back plaque for his handling of the incident and lack of self-serving interest once he discovered what the bell and Mr. Deeds were capable of. When a Foundation agent behaves better with an SCP than a friggin' doctor. Wow. That was good. That was really good. I like that. That was good. I wonder if Countess Miss Sophie would enjoy these services. Oh my god. Yeah, probably. Okay, now we're going on to SCP-729-J. We'll just get that one. And the next one up will be 3848J. With the side note from Nia of, I'm not late, you're late. 729-J. 3848-J. Is that definitely wasn't? Yeah, that's one. Yeah. Okay. Good, good. That is all lined up. Why do I have messages on Discord? I'm guessing at least one of them is an announcement from Scoo's server. They are not. They are both private messages. I bet Sharky. I bet Sharky's in the group chat that I got with Sharky and Kane. Okay, so 729-J. Oh no, I forget how to do these ones. Oh, there we are. SCP by series. They've got the J series all on its own. In this one, 729. Peep, peep, motherfucker. What the fuck? Or something. Oh, sorry to hear that, Torian. Item number SCP-729-J. Object class Cater, crossed out, Thomiel. Guys, you're hurting his feelings. He's just trying to help. Can we maybe make the new object class for this thing? Maybe a Polyon Plus. What the fuck? A Polyon Plus. Whew. PA Fab is not Fab. Yeah, this is true. Yeah. Ugh. The monthlies. Did I just get another pro message? Either Sharky or Kane, I'm fairly certain, just PM'd me in that same group chat again, just to give me another ping on Discord. If that is exactly what happened, then haha. So this is, but yes, this is good. Extra uncontainable. Special containment procedures. SCP-729-J currently resides in Dr. Niles Hesson's office on her desk, where, pray to God, it will stay. Request testing at your own risk. It breaches containment at an alarming frequency, but even Mobile Task Force New 7 Hammer Down refuses to go near the fucking thing, so it does whatever the hell it wants. We are all at its mercy. Dr. Hesson has been commanded to turn in 729-J for it to be properly contained, as soon as someone can get up the courage to write her an email. I love this already. Description. 729-J is supposed to be a toy. But I want to know who the sick fuck was that wanted to give this thing to children. The label says it's made of polyester fibre, but we all know it's made of the devil's couch stuffing or something. Its reign of terror began during a containment breach of SCP-106. SCP-106 had managed to trap Dr. Hesson in her office and had successfully corroded a hole in the door where it caught sight of that goddamn thing. 729-J. 106 stopped moving completely and began staring at 729-J, showing no interest in Dr. Hesson. 106 then began moving backwards out of Dr. Hesson's office, never breaking visual contact with that eldritch horror, 729-J, until it reached the end of the hall and promptly rematerialized back into its containment cell. It should be noted that 106's middle fingers were raised for the entirety of the encounter with 729-J. 106's reaction is, frankly, perfectly understandable, and several researchers who witnessed the event were found huddling with SCP-106 in its containment cell. When Radical Larry backed off going like that, you know it's bad. Testing logs. SCP-2006. Effects. 2006 screeched upon being introduced and assumed a form identical to 729-J. 2006 has not changed form since the encounter. 1322. Effects. 729-J was sent through the wormhole to the SCP-1322 Society. It was returned 6 minutes later, tied to a white flag! SCP-303. Effects. When Dr. Hessen was told to walk through a door with 303 on the other side while holding 729-J, 303 promptly opened the door for Dr. Hessen and ushered her through before quickly exiting the room, with Dr. Hessen showing no signs of the usual fear response. 303 was found 6 hours later in an abandoned storage closet in a fetal position, sucking its thumb. SCP-3000. Effects. 729-J was put on a fishing hook and lowered into the sea to where the current position of 3000 was found with the radar. After 2 hours of lowering it into the sea, Dr. Sarland complained about a cramp in his hand from unwinding the fishing pole, and Dr. Bayer took over. Another 50 minutes later, the assumed depth of the 3000 was reached. After 2 minutes, a tug was felt on the fishing pole, and 3000's presence swiftly disappeared from the radar. As Dr. Bay also complained of his hand hurting, retrieval of the end of the fishing line was postponed. I told them both they should do stretches beforehand, but no, we play Halo every Friday. Our wrists are trained. Should have listened, Dr. Badham. 3000 is supergiant deal with memory eraser due to not mistaken. The next day, after proper warm-up, 729-J was successfully retrieved, along with a crudely written note attached to it, reading, "Alright, I thought we had a deal. I turned some consciousness into spaghetti, and you guys get your regretty forgetty. But okay, you won. You get the forgetty stuff for free. Lifetime supply, but please, just this one condition. Keep that thing out of my ocean!" I'll go for a while. I need to calm down. Jesus Christ. Thank you for the hydration, DJ. SCP-055. Effects. Dr. Hessen walked into the containment chamber of 055 holding 729-J. About 5 minutes later, the containment chamber opened and a calico cat ran into Dr. Hessen's office. "Oh, Pudding, come here. I brought a new friend for you." Dr. Hessen. "Wait, we even had an 055? And it's a cat named Pudding?" Dr. Axum. SCP-650. Effects. Dr. Hessen was told to directly observe an SCP-650 in its containment cell whilst holding 729-J. Before Dr. Hessen could be asked to break her line of sight with 650, the lighting within 650's containment cell briefly deactivated and the sound of quick, heavy footsteps could be heard from its room. According to Dr. Hessen, when the power to 650's chamber was restored, 650 had completely vanished from its containment site and was nowhere to be found near Dr. Hessen. However, on-site staff noted a sign of the cross had been crudely carved into one of the walls within 650's containment cell. A containment breach alert was sounded. After 2 hours of extensive searching, SCP-650 was discovered hiding within a storage closet, apparently having attempted to bury its head into the floor. 650 was eventually returned to its containment cell, but has since constantly faced the wall with the inverted cross and has not moved from its position. SCP-1048. Effects. When exposed to SCP-729-J, all copies made by 1048 became immobile and have not regained mobility since exposure. 1048 appeared alarmed by this, making a gesture like the sign of the cross and retreated behind its copies. 1048 regained the ability to make copies of itself when 729-J was removed. It now frequently produces art that depicts 729-J as monstrous in some form and cowers if shown a picture of 729-J. Love this be same. This is amazing. Not even the teddy? Oh, poor Mr. Buns. He just wants some friends. Dr. Hessen. Try 2317. Maybe then that hell beast can be with its own kind. Dr. Yvain. We wouldn't play with him either. Dr. Hessen. My God. Dr. Yvain. SCP-682. Effects data expunged. Long story short, we've been classified 682 as neutralised. You don't even want to fucking know how this little fucker killed it. Dr. Foxfield. The unkillable thing got killed by this thing, and all they could put was data expunged. 2317 is labelled as Devourer of Worlds. Oh god. SCP-076. Effects. 729-J was placed inside 076's containment area when scans showed that 076-2's heart was beginning to beat. All humans exited the room and researchers watched it behind a camera. When SCP-076-2 got out of 076-1, instead of looking for the nearest human, he looked straight at 729-J. 076-2 materialised an American M9 flamethrower and the corresponding fuel pack. He attempted to use it on 729-J, but the flamethrower did nothing to it. When 076-2 ran out of fuel and saw that 729-J was unharmed, he ran back into 076-1 and curled up into a ball. Crying sounds were coming from the inside of 076-1. It has been 2 weeks and 076-2 has yet to come out of that position. Killing 682 is basically a requirement of the SCP. I still remember 666.5-J fed it to him and say, Yog-Shoggoth, free me from this mortal coil! And the reaction, Jesus wept. Oh, this is amazing. I love the stroke J's. A well-written stroke J is absolutely a thing of pure comedic beauty. SCP-073. Effects. When exposed to 729-J, 073 took a cup of water and proceeded to bless it. 073 then vocalised the phrase, "Fuck off, dick nips!" and soaked the little shit in the holy water. 073 remained under a table for the remainder of the test, with its fingers in the form of a cross. Fuck off, dick nips. It's like giving birth to 3 babies at the same time, except they're on fire and covered in thumbtacks. Hello and welcome. I was going to ask someone to listen to, but I did hear Yorkshire Goth flowing me from this hell. I mean, you rang. I mean, it's supposed to be Yorkshire Goth, but that'll work as well. Hello and welcome to me reading SCPs. We're currently on one of the joke ones, which is just downright hilarious. SCP-187. Effects. Upon being exposed to 729-J, 187 began to vomit and froth at the mouth. 187 displaying rapid emotional changes, switching from screaming and babbling to squealing and cooing. 187 is immediately removed. Upon being interviewed, 187 said, "How can such a thing be so ungodly yet so cute?" 187 is currently undergoing therapy. Yes, first thing in the morning, good enough. Yes, I wholly agree. This is when we try to kill Mouse after. Yes. I was Yog-Sothoth. Oh no, Yog-Shoggoth is a different one, isn't it? Cthulhian beasts. I don't know them all. SCP-1915. Effects. 729-J is exposed to 1915. Upon exposure, 1915 exclaimed while raising his arms high into the air, "I quit!" 1915 breaches containment and data expunged. 1915 is currently believed to be conversing with 3812 about the futility of narratives and plot points, currently debating which of their creators has the smallest dick. SCP-4812-K. Effects. 729-J is launched straight at 4812-K. 4812-K begins to scream and writhe around before charging towards 225-1, killing itself. 4812-S and -E are reported at this time to breach containment, both self-terminating. 729-J is retrieved and given back hastily by the GOC, stating it killed the Eros entity by landing on it. Note, upon being asked how he is still capable of talking and reacting in a calm and stoic manner around that goddamn thing, Dr. Gears spoke calmly, stating, "I have actually soiled my pants for the first time I looked at it, and now I have a super toilet in the observation deck with a throw-up bucket and shower included. I honestly am disgusted by it, as you are." Yog-Sothoth is the second most powerful outer god in the entire mythos, I believe. Ah. SCP-173. Effects. Data expunged. Don't ask about it. No, the warhead did not destroy either of them. No, there was no grand battle. Yes, there was discussion. No, do not go and try searching for the cold turn or the data loss. No, not even the Wanderer's Library. Yes, they did don sombreros. No, we have yet to remove them. No, we will not try this again, lest we see an AZ-class Fiesta scenario. Yes, that is all we found in the second SCP-5000 suit that showed up in 173's containment chamber. Green. I don't know, I think he looks cute with it. Dr. Hessen. Number one is the thing that's literally dreaming all of reality, right? I think so, yeah. SCP-001! Effects: Tom Brady, quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, was abducted and forced to throw 729-J into 001's radius. 001 immediately looked at 729-J and bowed. A mouth-shaped opening appeared on 001's head, and in a loud voice it said, "My Lord!" 001 then picked up 729-J and put it in the garden on the other side of the gate that 001 guarded. 729-J was only able to be retrieved when 001 was allowed to have 999 for a day. Number one is the thing that's literally dreaming all of reality, right? Azathoth the Idiot God. Yeah, Azathoth. Don't worry, Tom Brady was given as SCP-3000, so Gracefully puts it, regretty forgetty, Dr. Redacted, head of the Amnestics Department. Regretty forgetty. I love that SCP-3000 deemed its own amnesia including juice as regretty forgetty. Those alerts are fumed, by the way. Oh right, I wondered. 049. Wait. 049 isn't... Oh my god, this is the Plague Doctor. 049 is the Plague Doctor, isn't he? Effects. When exposed to 729-J, 049 appeared to stagger, grasping its head with its hand and falling to its knees, stating, "The pestilence, it's too strong!" 049 then attempted to crawl towards 729-J, vocalizing, "I must cure you," but fell to the ground and fell unconscious. Damn, guess that dude's too strong as plague even for 049, Dr. Brine. Oh, those depths as ridiculous to put it, forget me juice. Zeta, hello and welcome. Welcome to me reading one of the funniest SCPs I've ever seen. SCP-294. Effects. D3825363 was asked to type SCP-729-J on SCP-294's keyboard. He initially refused, stating that he had heard stories of 729-J from the other Class Ds, and that he wanted nothing to do with a creature of Satan. D3825363 was held at gunpoint by a security officer until he obliged to type it. 294 produced a titanium cup with the words, this is the only thing that can hold a liquid of this toxicity imprinted on the outside of it. The cup was then filled with a neon yellow liquid. D3825363 was again held at gunpoint until he drank the liquid. After 3825363 drank it, his eyes turned red and then promptly data expunged. His whole body then turned inside out, flaming skeleton hands emerged from the ground and dragged him down into the floor. When D3825363 was gone, a note appeared where he was dragged into the ground. The note read, "That little shit stain of a toy did not come from here, and I beg you to keep it far away from here. Satan." Get me the fuck out of here, Dr. Rochland, an hour before resigning. You may or may not be ignoring responsibilities at work, so if I just Bravo 6 my way out of here, it's because things finally happened here. No problem at all. You are welcome to stay here as long as you're able to. I appreciate it. SCP-914. Effects. 729-J was placed in the intake booth of 914 by Dr. Hessen. 914 was set to rough by Dr. Redacted in order to finally terminate this godforsaken abomination. When attempting to turn the key, 914 refused to operate while 729-J was in the intake. Investigation of 914 showed that a note was found in the output booth. The note read, "This is the one thing that cannot be refined. I don't care how many times you try it. Get that shit out of here." SCP-231. Effects. Data expunged. Procedure 110 Montauk has now been replaced with periodic exposure to 729-J, given the much higher levels of emotional distress produced by the latter. Interview log. Interviewed, Dr. Hessen. Interviewer, Dr. Yvain. Forward. 729J was contained, if you can call it that, in Dr. Hessen's purse, despite multiple pleas to just please put the goddamn thing away. Begin log. Dr. Hessen, tell us the means by which you obtained 729-J. I mean, it was a little gift I ordered for myself online. Easter, you know. Nothing odd at all about its manufacturing. Nope. And yet we've scoured the factory, where it was made for evidence and satanic rituals. Odd. But yeah, he came in the mail. It was one of the special scented ones. Dear God, addressing Hessen's purse. I'm sorry I feasted upon your brethren. Let me live and it will never happen again, I promise. Just have mercy. Addressing Dr. Hessen. What's the nature of your immunity to 729-J's effects? Properties? I mean, it's a plushie. I have it right here. Dr. Hessen begins removing 729-J. Oh God, does she think we want that thing anywhere near us? No, 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 fuck, get that thing away from me! End log. Closing statement. Interview was terminated due to imminent containment breach. Oh my God, we got an image of it. God have mercy on your soul. What? That's not it. Copy image link. Is that going to be it? Oh my God, the file name is Mummy. I'm going to bring it up for you because this needs to be seen. Scarlet King's. This is, you have to see this. You just have to. Window capture. No, that's the wrong one. I want display capture, don't I? Yeah, display capture. There we are. That's it. That is the plushie. That is SCP 729-J. Here's the end of a log and the start of another one in the doctor's pants. Oh my God, that was amazing. That was absolutely amazing. You see us to someone trapped in the world of madness. I mean, it's one of my streams, Etsy, of course. It's always madness. Frightening. Yeah, I know, right? Oh my God, I loved that. That was amazing. And look, we've got another J to follow up. Okay, so the next one is going to be 3848-J. Let me just get it. Oh, this is one from Nia as well. Oh, good God. Nia finds some of the best ones. I play adore 79-J. I can see why Woodgren. That was fantastic. It's not as good as this, but I found it neat. Still. And the next one's going to be 5552. Okay, let me just change that. 3848. The next one is not a joke one. So this one I'm about to read is a joke one. After it, no joke. It's time to scrape the bottom of the barrel, some real belly busters. I mean, to be fair, Nia, you opened with 666.5-J. That is the peak. The vintage pokey experience. Oh, indeed, indeed, indeed. Let's see. Thank you to Vaughan and Widgren for the hydration ones now. You deemed a firm 729-J. I mean, how can you hate that thing? It's cute. It's so adorable. Thank you for the hydration reminder, DJ, as well. Torian as peep peep, motherfucker. Okay, 3848-J. It's not showing up near. It's not in the list. 3848 is not it. Are you sure that you typed in the right number? Do you remember what the name of it is? Because if so, I can look that one up. I've just seen the name for 1256-J. Bees are dumb as fuck. Much more so than you could possibly imagine. 79J meet Skipper. Would that cause reality to collapse? Yes, it would. It was FDR. No, that's not coming up. Okay. FDR SCP. No, I don't mean any of those. SCP Roosevelt. Ah, there we are. It's 3448. That's why. It's not 3848. It's 3448. I think. Yeah, 348/J. There we go. Should have taken him sleeping. No worries at all. I'll just amend that there. So that's 3448. And change that one there to 3448. There we are. Minor change. Found out in the end. All good. No need to worry. Right. I am glad you wrote 348 on the paper. Okay. Oh god, the Rasputin one. The Rasputin one was amazing as well. I think the thing with the Rasputin one is that it catches you so unawares, because like it's completely normal. It just basically is explaining Rasputin as an SCP because everything suggests he was one, and then that final note, that final diary note from him was just absolute perfection. This yellow Peeps bunny plush is as soft as a marshmallow. It's shaped just like your favourite Easter treat. This yellow stuffed bunny has the cutest face, perky ears, and full round body. Its polyester plush features plastic beads inside of it, and you can stand this Peeps plush on a table or mantle. Add the soft plush toys to an Easter gift basket, or use it at home decor for your Easter dinner. That just sounds like you're inviting SCPs into your house with that one. Okay. Item number SCP-3448/J. Object class Euclid. Special containment procedures. 3448/J is contained in a standard humanoid containment cell. All misinformation campaigns affirming the death of SCP-3448/J have been successful, and no further containment efforts are required. Description: 3448/J is the 26th President of the United States of America, Theodore Roosevelt Jr. Despite over 160 years having passed since 3448/J's birth, it has not died, and has not aged since 1/6/1919. I don't know if it's UK or US state format. Additionally, testing has revealed that 3448/J heals extremely quickly from all forms of damage and bears remarkable stamina and tolerance for pain. The extent of these abilities is unknown, but is evidently far greater than the Foundation is willing to test. Discovery: 3448/J's anomalous properties were discovered on 1/6/1919 after the former president emerged from his chambers, having made a full recovery from his otherwise fatal ailments. Foundation forces contained to the former president and began a misinformation campaign to convince the public that 3448/J had died. 3448/J's doctor at the time had been present in his room and made notes of this interaction. God got nothing right. It's about him. Fuck me and my lack of memory. That's completely fair. Donald Trump is an actual SCP. Oh, good Christ. Why? I am pained to confess that I had fallen asleep at the president's bedside, but I had been awoken by a strange scuffling at the door. I looked. My mind may have been still partially asleep, but I bear no doubts that the visage which had entered the president's chamber was none other than Death herself. I remained still and silent, even in my dreary state, and faced with the passing of such a treasured and important man, I knew better than to confront Death while she collects her soul. "Theodore," she said, "your time is up." She pulled back the sheets of the president's bed to reveal a messy assortment of pillows and waddled laundry. Behind Death, unseen, President Roosevelt emerged from the shadows. "Bully!" he said, and he punched Death in the face. Wow! Oh, that... Wait, what? It links to the end of Death Hub. It's a scenario. It's a canon story scenario, and it's a joke SCP leading into the end of Death. Theodore Roosevelt decking the Grim Reaper in the face. Oh, I loved it. That was brilliant. That's like, again, very much like the Rasputin one. Pretty much all completely serious until that right one last bit. Bully! Punch! Shortbiz went to extend the stuff with Benjamin Franklin's dick one. Oh, What's worse, Robin Williams played him in Night at the Museum, so I can also see Robin Williams punching death. I can see that as well. Couldn't say that Roosevelt wouldn't in fact try that. It sounds exactly like he would do. So the Rasputin one was just, oh, absolutely amazing. Nicholas, you whore! I will haunt you forever this! My dick is in a museum! Oh, God. Oh, something's amazing. I think there's people outside in the park making strange noises. Right, with that one done, we are on to 5552, and the one after that is 2686. 5552, 2686. Yes, it is. Cool. And except this was no one from Pokey. Oh, I missed that. So, thank you, Kane, for the hydration reminder. It's serious time again, yes. Have you read The Life and Times of Scrooge McDuck? Roosevelt is hilarious in that. No, I don't think I have. Okay, so Series 6 we're going to, and 550 onwards, 555/2. Our Stolen Theory. Okay. Note, file under review. Investigation into the event is still underway. Information contained herein has not been confirmed. Event summary. On 2020-04-14, the database at Site 72 reported a series of unauthorized file creations and modifications, specifically to documentation regarding 5552. All past information on 5552 has been lost and possibly erased from the minds of personnel assigned to the project, as no individuals can confirm that the 5552 slot has been previously assigned to an anomaly. The documentation itself has not demonstrated anomalous properties, however all have been tagged with an uploaded timestamp of 13:48:28, which is the same time as when Dr. Naman Gupta began a talk at the 6th International Conference on Physics titled A Comprehensive Theory on Bidirectional Temporal Travel. What follows are the documents that manifested as a result of the event. Next document. Item number SCP-5552-EX. Special Containment Procedures. None. Or not applicable. Description. 5552-EX is the Wendell Conduit as described in A Comprehensive Theory on Bidirectional Temporal Travel, titled after the lead author on the paper, Jonathan Wendell. The Wendell Conduit operates in a similar manner to closed time-like curvatures conjectured by Gödel. However, instead of operating like a wormhole might, which relies on immense amounts of energy to open, Wendell conduits are opened and sustained through the vibration of Wendian particles. Excuse me. Footnote. Propose an extension to the standard model of particle physics. Wendian particles vibrate in accordance to an atom's wilt. Footnote. Propose the property of matter like electrical charge or mass. Investigation into connections between wilt and phenomena observed by anomalies in containment is ongoing. According to Dr. Wendell, the process for generating sufficient wilt to open a Wendell conduit is significantly less resource intensive than the theoretical method of opening a sizable wormhole. It is currently believed that Dr. Wendell is working in conjunction with the UN to create a practical time machine. Attempts to gain further information about this project have been hindered by GOC interference. Addendum SCP-5552-1. Below is a transcript from examinations of Dr. Wendell's paper to confirm its accuracy. Examination was led by the Cronus project leads, Dr. Cindy Helsman and Dr. Naman Gupta. Begin log. Gupta. God, this is so hard to read. Helsman. I mean, yeah, it's planned, but it's not like I mean emotionally, Cindy. Oh yeah, I should have guessed. This is our research. Literally our research. I swear half these figures are copied straight from our draft. I mean, we know that a lot of people have been working in this field. It was a tight race. It's fucking bullshit is what it is. See the look on the guy's face when he gave that talk. Smuggest piece of shit I've ever seen. He told me at the conference. And also, he named everything after himself. Fucking Wendell Conduit. Wenyan. Wilt? I think that's his dog's name. A dog. A fucking dog has more physics phenomena named after it than I do. Well, maybe something in here doesn't work out. Maybe the reviewers missed something. It's my research! I've checked everything as well as I checked my own numbers. Our research. Huh? It's not your research, it's ours. Oh, right. Slip of the tongue. Sorry. That's alright. Helsman and Gupta returned to reading the paper in silence. All that can be heard is a faint ticking from Gupta's pocket watch. Gupta finishes and looks at Helsman. Well, yeah, I'm not seeing anything here either. It's all right. Fuck. We'll just come with something else. We're persistent like that. Gupta leaves the meeting room, slamming the door behind him. Helsman sighs. End log. Following the meeting, the contents of Dr. Wendell's research were considered to be grounded well enough in our current understanding of physics to be considered explained rather than anomalous. Monitoring of the implementation that this research is to continue to ensure no additional anomalous phenomena are discovered in the process. Addendum 5552-2 on 2020-0502, Foundation satellites detected a large visual disturbance in Nunavut, Canada. Nunavut, not Nunavut, there's no L in it. An area of 20 acres of land has become entirely black, including all flora or fauna residing in that area. Foundation personnel were dispatched to the location. Below is a copy of their report. Stevenson and I arrived at the scene around midday. The strange coloration could be seen in some of the grass and the trees on the edge of the affected area, but 10 feet in everything was completely black. Well, not that material had turned black, it was more that the light wasn't even reflecting off the surfaces. The ground was sturdy to stand on, but organic matter didn't fare as well. Yeah, it maintained its stability until we touched it, but even with just a slight brush, entire trees crumbled, or I guess they more melted? They just fell apart. Stevenson grabbed a few samples to test later. We reached the centre of the affected area. I'll just close that. There was an opening in the ground, no larger than a manhole. We didn't trust the ladder built into the hole's wall, so we tied up a rope and rappelled down. Everything in the hole was black too, except for the walls. At first we thought they were made of stone, but they were far too soft for that. The hallways of the facility were mostly empty, save for a few safety notices with GOC branding on them. We only found one unlocked door, labelled Primary Construction Bay. We decided not to go inside because the entrance was blocked by humanoid figures that had turned black, like the trees outside. We didn't want to break them. Stevenson did manage to get some pictures of just inside the room. The place was packed, everyone crowded around some sort of capsule in the middle, which was the only thing in there that kept its colour. We think the inside was occupied, but we can't say for certain. After being confronted with this report, a GOC official confirmed that this was a result of their efforts to realise the practical uses of Dr. Wendell's research. In order to avoid similar incidents regarding temporal research, the GOC agreed to transfer all documents and computations Dr. Wendell performed to the Foundation. Addendum 552-3. Below is a transcript from the Project Cronus team during their meeting to decipher and understand the writings of Dr. Wendell. Helsman enters the room, Gupta staring at a whiteboard. Hey, Nalan. Hey. I know it must be hard to hear about what happened. Gupta remains silent. I mean, I was as confident as you were that our work was correct. And while it's terrible what happened to Wendell and everyone, I'm at least grateful we didn't have to experience our failures firsthand. Dumbass. Huh? Wendell, he's a fucking dumbass. This isn't the time for... No, look here. Gupta walks back to his desk and grabs one of Wendell's pages of computations. For the decay constant, you remember what we calculated that number out to? Something like 14 decimals? Why? Well, in the paper it looked like he'd just rounded to 3 significant figures, but he only used the rounded number in its actual math as well. Well, I mean, we only put the rounded numbers in the paper. Guess he didn't have our full data sets. But you know what this means, right? Helsman pauses after a moment. She smiles. It might still work. They haven't scrapped our budget, right? Not yet. So, do you want to build a time machine? You really didn't have to ask. Lydia, hello and welcome. Corn's outside the corner. No, we cannot have a dead Lydia. I was going to say I'll, sprinkle rejuvenating waters on you, but all I've got is Sprite, I'm afraid. Rejuvenating Sprite. There you go. Sprite's gone all fizzy now. Addendum SCP 5552-3. Utilising the remains of their budget, Project Cronus constructed a bidirectional temporal traversal device, BTTD, over the course of 3 months. However, upon completion of the BTTD, Dr. Gupta and Dr. Helsman utilised the device without consulting the Foundation Ethic Committee, the Catastrophic Phenomena Contingency Planning Group, or Department of Causality Consistency. Below is footage from the security cameras at the time of the project's use. And thank you for the hydration reminder, DJ. Gupta enters the testing lab for the BTTD at 2 AM. He goes to the control panel and begins powering the machine until Helsman arrives at 2:08. Gupta checking his pocket watch. You're late, and you haven't told me what you're doing. I'm doing preliminary testing, and thought you should be here for the first trial of our project. You're just going to use a time travel machine without telling anyone? I'm telling you. Naman. You know no one would let me go back if I asked, and well, I need someone to activate this machine after I get inside. But why are you doing this? Official testing is starting less than a week anyways. Cindy, I'm stealing our theory back. Excuse me? Our theory. It has Jonathan's name on it. I'm stealing it back. I know it's been bothering you too. You pause a little every time you say Wendell Conduit. It keeps me up at night. He may have taken our work, but now we have a machine that lets us fix mistakes like that. You sound absurd, but you don't disagree. God, this is so petty. It's not petty. We worked on this for what? 5 years? Losing the product of 5 years of standing at the whiteboard, arguing over simulation results and gathering test data isn't pretty. You know as well as I do you can't control how much you change. Yes, there's actions in life which set off long chains of events that have effects no one could predict, yada yada yada. But for every one of those actions, how many others have almost no impact on tomorrow? If you arrived here 3 minutes earlier, that wouldn't change the conversation we're having now. Only so many actions can mean something, and for all we know, I could be avoiding catastrophes instead of starting new ones. That doesn't sound very scientifically sound. I've run some of the numbers. I'm almost certain that if I just help us come up with some of our interpretations of the data a little faster, I can recreate everything without any significant difference up through us publishing our research. Oh, how far back are you going? January. So 8 months. Should give me enough time to speed up our research along so we can publish it in that particle physics conference in March before Jonathan's able to steal it. Fine, just promise me we get co-first author. That was always a plan. Hop in. Thank you so much. Gupta enters the BTTD traveller capsule while Helsman takes over the control panel. After Gupta is strapped in, Helsman walks over to the traveller capsule. Good luck. I won't need it. I should have as many tries as I need. Helsman nods and walks back to the control panel. That's the least comforting thing he could have said. Helsman activates the BTTD. Power is drawn from the entire of the site, causing the surveillance camera to shut down. Next document. Mark is stupid. My type is of Peter calling a tracking number as a track nun. That was bad. That's not too bad. That's just, that's right. Running the numbers has been running nuns. Just the Nun Olympics. That's all it is. The clan of Abanan now engages in the Nun Olympics. So the next document. Level 3, 5552. Classified. Containment status. Explained. Special containment procedures. Not applicable. Description. 5552-EX is the Gupta-Helsman gate described in a comprehensive theory on bidirectional temporal travel titled after the lead authors on the paper, Naman Gupta and Cindy Helsman. They did it. This paper was presented on 200314 at the International Conference on Particle Physics after a board of Foundation personnel reviewed the paper and deemed the science sufficiently in line with baseline assumptions to be considered non-anomalous. The Gupta-Helsman gate operates in a similar manner to the closed time-like curvatures conjectured by Gödel. However, instead of opening a wormhole like a wormhole might, which relies on immense amounts of vibration to open, Gupta-Helsman gates are opened and sustained through the vibration of the vibron particles. Proposed an extension to standard molecular particles. Vibron particles vibrate in accordance to an atom's wilt, proposed to be a property matter like electrical charge or mass. Investigation into connections between wilt and phenomena observed by anomalies in containment is ongoing. Time travel. Those will be piss happy for them. Yep. According to Dr. Gupta and Dr. Helsman, the process for generating sufficient wilt to open a Gupta-Helsman gate is significantly less resource intensive than the theoretical method of opening a sizable wormhole. The Foundation has allocated additional resources to Gupta and Helsman's Cronus project to attempt to build a device that demonstrates the principles within their paper. Addendum 5552-1. Below is a partial transcript from the Cronus project lead meeting regarding the construct of a bidirectional temporal transversal device, BTTD, as proposed in the paper. Gupta. I can't believe they actually let us publish. Helsman. Honestly, I'm more surprised at letting us build it. Well, of course they want us to build it. It's the Foundation. Right. Something wrong? I guess I'm just nervous. Oh, don't worry, everyone is. Except you, apparently. Oh, I'm nervous. I'm just good at hiding it. Now, let's get to scheduling, shall we? Right. I think we can get this thing done in about 3 months. That sound okay to you? Yeah, sounds fine. Alright, we'll be testing in 3 months and let's work backwards from there. Why Doctor Who pop in my head, Mal? 552-2 below the timetable for the construction of the BTTD. Task: BTTD Traveller Capsule Design. Task Lead Gupta. Deadline 2004-23. Notes: completed on time. Should be able to activate the BTTD from inside the capsule. Wilt's Generation Cell Design. Task Lead Helsman. Deadline 2005-09. Completed on 2005-14. Temporal Stability Insurance Computations. Task Lead. Computations. Helsman. Deadline 2005-21. Completed on 2006-03. BTD Traveller Capsule Construction. Task Lead Gupta. Deadline 2020-05-23. Completed on time. Additional materials have been reserved from its second capsule. Anyone else noticing a pattern here? All of Gupta's things are completed on time and Helsman's aren't. It's almost like Gupta has this knowledge from the future. Wilt's Generation Cell Construction. Task Lead Helsman. Deadline 2020-06-03. Completed on 2020-06-20. Testing Proposal. Task Lead Gupta. Deadline 2020-06-14. Completed on time, requesting a total of 3 different trials, both with forward and backwards temporal travel. Safety Checks. Task Lead Helsman. Deadline 2020-06-22. Not applicable notes. Addendum 5552-3. On 2020-07-02, Helsman was confronted about her inability to meet deadlines on the project. Below is a transcript from the meeting. Cindy, we need to talk. We're falling behind schedule. I know. Like, I appreciate all the safety checks and recalculations you're doing, but I need you to trust me. But you know how dangerous this thing can be. If we're not right down to the 14th decimal, this could cause a catastrophic amount of damage. So you don't trust me? No, I trust you, but I don't trust myself. I feel like I'm always a few steps behind you, trying to play catch up. There's something about all of this that just clicks for you and it's not clicking for me. It's frustrating. This was supposed to be our project, but it doesn't quite feel like mine anymore. Oh, would you like me to tell you something that might make you feel better? Well, if you can, go ahead. I know this is going to work, because it already has. You've already used it, haven't you? I travelled back to January because if we didn't publish by March, our research was going to be stolen. January? But that's when we started getting experimental data. Just sped everything up is all. I knew what equations we're going to be able to extract so I could skip a few steps. But that was supposed to be my job. I know, but you were good with concepts and theories, and I was good with the equations and making the numbers mean something. That was how it was supposed to divide the work, but then you just stole my equations from me. But you already solved them. You solved them last time all on your own. I was totally useless. But I wasn't there last time. This time I didn't do shit. But it's all the same you. I don't feel like I contributed. I feel like I've been playing second fiddle. I'm sorry. I told you my plan when I left, and you said it was fine. I keep telling you that wasn't me. Whoever that was obviously wasn't thinking about how it'd feel to have her equations stolen. I think she knew. Well, then she was being a dumbass. I'm sorry, I didn't know. Husband takes a few deep breaths and settles back into her chair. It's fine. Nothing can be done now. How long until we're finished with this damn project? If we go at our predicted pace, only another month. Thank God. Addendum 5552-4. In the early mornings of 2020-07-15, Site 72 experienced 2 major power outages, one at 3:34 AM and another at 3:56 AM. Security camera footage prior to the 3:34 outage showed Dr. Helsman accessing the primary testing area for the BTTD, logging information into the main control panel and entering the BTTD traveller capsule. Security personnel immediately ensured that the initial power outage did not result in a containment breach, and were unable to inspect the BTTD primary testing area before the second power outage occurred, which happened less than 2 minutes after power had been re-established to the site. Initial inspection of the BTTD primary testing area occurred at 4:23 AM, where personnel discovered a black powdery substance scattered around the inside of the BTTD traveller capsule. Oh shit. The doors of the BTTD traveller capsule was closed, and readings from the BTTD control panel indicate recent use. Additionally, a letter found on the ground next to the control panel. Below is a transcript. We start to mess with time, you can't be surprised when things get fucky. Yep. I'm not sure if you'll see this, since I'm not sure what happens after I activate this machine. But in case you do, know that I'm not mad. Well, not you specifically. I know you're just trying to get our work back. I know how it must have felt to have your work stolen from you. I get it must have been frustrating and painful and you wanted to fix that. But I was robbed of the opportunity to have a breakthrough entirely. You took my aha moment from me, and I want it back. I'm going back. I'm making sure you didn't help me with my part of the project, and then I'm shoving a syringe full of amnestics up my arm so I can experience it. The feeling of discovery, that moment when I solve a problem no one else can. If I've done it before, like you said, I should have just had to reset everything and can do it again. I don't care if the research gets stolen. At least this time it really will be our theory. On the back of the letter is a series of calculations and numbers, appearing to be someone's scratch work. At the bottom of a number is circled, and below it is written the following: why they always screw up the weight decay. Dr. Gupta, who was seen in the security footage sleeping the officers prior to the 334 power outage, could not be located. Fuck! That's all I've got to say on that one. Fuck. On to the next document. I like the fact that these are all done in different visual styles as well, like it actually showing the way that the SCP site has been evolving over time, and all the different graphics they've been using, all the different things they've got in their interface. It's really, really good. It's it's showing that they're all coming from different time periods and evolving. Keep messing up the decay, huh? I know, right? That's worrying. That's really worrying. Item number 5552, Level 3 Confidential, Containment Class Euclid, Disruption Class Dark, Risk Class Notice. Special Containment Procedures. The Kronos Project is to continue its research into the existence of SCP-5552. Description: 5552 is a theoretical method to travel backwards in time. The exact nature of 5552, as well as whether or not it can be replicated in a control manual, is still unknown. Discovery: evidence for the existence of 5552 occurred on 2018-0704 when reality stability beacons at Site 72 indicated a retrocausal reality shift. Excuse me. However, due to lack of discontinuity in the cause and effect predictions from the beacons, it was determined that a large-scale reality-altering event did not occur. The resulting conclusion was that temporal travel must have taken place. The Kronos Project research team was directed to determine the source or subject of this temporal travel, however their research was unsuccessful. Addendum 5552-1. Below is a timeline of the Kronos Project's progress. 2017-11-14. The Kronos Project was initiated by Drs. Naman Gupta and Cindy Helsman. 2018-01-22. Dr. Gupta proposes a string theory inspired by a string theory inspired hypothesis for reverse directional time travel. 2018-03-08. Dr. Gupta's theory was deemed highly unlikely after it did not fit any of the models created by Dr. Helsman. 2018-03-19. Dr. Gupta proposes a theory for reverse directional time travel based on quantum entanglement. 2018-05-20. Dr. Gupta's theory is contradicted by experimental evidence gathered by Dr. Helsman. Oh, she went and tried to fix too much. She went back to the very beginning of it and basically stopped Gupta from taking anything. Wow. Oh dear. Oh dear. 2018-07-4. Kronos Project directed to locate the source of the alerted retrocausality reality shift. 2018-08-04. Search for source of retrocausality reality shift disbanded. Modification to current timeline deemed successfully insignificant to ignore. 2018-10-14. Dr. Gupta promoted to site director, leaving the Kronos Project. Oh. 2019-01-22. Dr. Helsman proposes a theory for reverse directional time travel based on classical relativity. 2019-05-03. Dr. Helsman's theory is abandoned due to lack of consistent relativistic behaviours at the quantum scale. 2019-07-22. Dr. Helsman proposes a theory for reverse directional time travel based on quantum mechanics. 2019-10-02. Dr. Helsman theory is abandoned for being too similar to Dr. Gupta's quantum entanglement theory. 2020-01-11. Dr. Helsman proposes a theory based on a standard model of particle physics. 2020-04-14. Dr. Helsman's theory is abandoned due to a lack of progress. 5552-2 Addendum. Below is a transcript of the monthly status meeting between Dr. Helsman and Dr. Gupta held on 2020-04-16. So, I see you abandoned another theory. Yeah, it's harder for me to keep justifying your funding if you're not getting anywhere. I know, Naman. So, why'd you abandon this one? I mean, really it's the same reason I abandoned all the other ones. Not enough progress and too much pointing against it. I thought this one seemed so promising. Really? You think the time travel being based on the rotation of gluons is promising? I mean, I don't even know what I was thinking when I proposed it. It's fucking stupid. We already have gluons tied to strong force. I just think maybe this line of investigation is worth going down. Naman, I've been at this for more than 2 years and all I've hit are fucking dead ends. But I know you can do it. That's what you've been telling me for the past year, and while they're nice words, they've been kind of useless. Well, it's not my job to do the research. Used to be. We used to be a team, and then you left me for what? For management? Do you even enjoy that? I'm in this position because I want to be. And maybe that's because you don't even enjoy research anymore. And here you are telling me to chase geese. Or maybe it's because I was better at research. You know what? You can fuck off. Take my funding. See if I give a shit. Helmsman gets up and leaves Gupta's office, slamming the door behind her. Gupta sighs and puts his head in his hands. She'll thank me later. Or maybe not, but she'll be grateful nonetheless. Oh! Gupta went back even further and became site director so he could stop Helmsman from doing something catastrophic. Fuck. Time travel just give me a headache or 5. Yeah, this is very well written time travel though. Very well written. Although I am going to have to take a quick pause and go and take a bathroom break. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, I return. Sorry about that. I'm 4 parallel universes ahead of you. That is exactly it. That is this. This is SCP. Yo, I'm 4 parallel universes ahead of you. Amazing. Smells again. Oh, sorry to hear that, DJ. Thank you for the hydrations from DJ and Sharky. I can't tell if that was just outside noise. That was thunder. I mean, technically they're both the same thing, and outside noise is thunder. Or thunder is an outside noise. I just don't know if it was a weather noise or whether it was people. Right, let's get back to this. Addendum SCP-5552-3. During the night of 2020-04-16, security personnel at Site-72 reported a sudden insignificant alteration to rooms 118, 119 and 121, which contained the Project Kronos laboratory, cubicles for Project Kronos personnel, and the office of Dr. Helmsman respectively. Excuse me. The walls, floor, ceiling and all contents of these rooms had morphed into a black substance. Objects made of this substance maintained their shape until disturbed, at which point they would assume a more liquid-like state. Oh. Security personnel reported 3 casualties. 2 of these casualties were researcher Yufei Zhu and janitor Ivan DeWalt, who were presumed to be engaged in conversation at the time of the event based on their poses at the time of discovery. The third was Dr. Cindy Helsman, who was most likely listening to a voicemail on her phone. Below is a transcript of the most recent voicemail received by Dr. Helsman prior to the event. Gupta. Hey Cindy, sorry about what I said earlier. I didn't mean most of it. Like, I didn't mean the part about me being a better researcher. Honestly, I left the project because I wanted it to be your discovery. It's frustrating for both of us to see you bang your head against this problem. But if you want, I can come back to the project and we can make this our theory again. Following the 2020-04-16 event, Dr. Gupta took over the Cronus project. The Cronus project was also moved from Site 72 to Site 53, after the entire eastern wing of Site 72 experienced a similar event to that described above. See Cronus project's special reports for details. Oh, this is just getting more and more fucky. Document number 4. SCP-5552. Project Cronus Eyes Only. The following file describes an anomaly currently under investigation and is Level 4 5552 classified. Unauthorized access is forbidden. Item number 5552. Object class Euclid. Special containment procedures. The Cronus project is to continue research to confirm the details of SCP-5552. Whereas it is possible that 5552 related phenomena can be explained given our current understanding of science, they have been deemed anomalous until further progress has been made. Description: 5552 refers to a theoretical method of travel between parallel universes with similar cause and effect chains. Details regarding the exact nature of 5552 as well as parallel universes it can access are under investigation by the Cronus project led by Dr. Naman Gupta and Dr. Cindy Helsman. Oh fuck, it's not time travel, it's dimension hopping. Fuck. Oh shit. That's bad. That's real bad. Ugh. Sorry, I've got something in my eye. I actually genuinely have got something in my upper eye. Probably an eyelash. It's annoying. Addendum 5552-1. Below is the transcript of the meeting on 2018-07-04 between Dr. Helsman and Dr. Gupta, first proposing the existence of 5552. Dr. Gupta paces back and forth in front of his desk. Dr. Helsman enters Dr. Gupta's office, at which point Dr. Gupta checks his pocket watch. You're late. Only by a minute. You're still late. Naman, are you okay? You seem a little more restless than normal. Gupta takes 3 deep breaths and sits down at his desk. Sorry, I'm just anxious. Anxious about what? Paper deadline? No. Then what is it? Okay, Cindy, I'm about to say something that sounds incredibly stupid, but I'm going to need you to believe me, alright? Okay. I might be from the future. Helsman remains silent before beginning to say something. However, she stops herself. Yeah. But what does that mean? So I think it's like this. I know for certain that I came from somewhere that on April 16th, 2020, you die and I take over the Cronus project. Wait, you're saying I die in 2 years? Well, that's assuming I'm from the future, because there's another option. I'm from a parallel universe and I didn't travel in time at all. Well, if if you're from a parallel universe, then wouldn't that mean you still travel back in time? No, in this scenario I actually can't travel backwards in time. It would be impossible, it'd just be an illusion since each of the universes are temporarily offset. I don't follow. No, it's like time zones. Here it's 3, but in California it's noon. Here it's April 4th, but in another parallel universe it's March the 6th. You can't travel backwards in time, but you can travel to a parallel universe that started a month later than this one. It's almost the same thing. Okay, and why do you think this is why you've been doing what you've been doing instead of time travel? Well, not all parallel universes are created equal. In fact, a lot of them are probably unstable. So at certain points in time, arbitrary groups of particles will just they'll lose stability. Not entirely. Like they go black and they crumble, and it's like the very fabric of reality just wilts away. You know you sound crazy, right? Yeah. But haven't I always sounded insane? Most of what I say sounds absurd, yet you still run the numbers for me, because we both know I might be right. Do you want me to start making models? That would be fantastic. This is about as comprehensible as Paradox, Billiards, Vostroy and Roulette 4th Dimensional Hypercubic Class Chess Poker, if you have no idea what it is. Yeah, it really is. Yeah. Addendum 5552-2. 2 weeks following this proposal, Site 72 personnel reported concerns about Dr. Gupta's mental well-being. Dr. Gupta was only seen leaving his office to go to the bathroom and to get food from the cafeteria, which he would then eat in his office. Dr. Green, occupying a neighbouring office, reported hearing Dr. Gupta shout the phrase, "It doesn't make sense," and other variants with similar meaning. Dr. Helsman requested to speak with Dr. Gupta and has refused meetings with other personnel. Gupta is looking at the whiteboard in his office. It's filled with a flowchart. Helsman knocks on the door to the Gupta's office. "I'm busy!" Even for me. Gupta opens his door slightly. After seeing Helsman, he opens it the rest of the way. Helsman enters. "Sorry, I'm just stressed still." "You seem a little more than stressed. People are worried about you." I know, I'm fine." "You know, you used to get lunch with everyone else. Might be good to get your mind off work." "I can't. Because it's just there's so much I still can't explain. Like how I've only travelled to similar parallel universes. Why haven't I blasted myself off to a world where Earth doesn't even exist?" "Well, I have some news. I'm not sure if it'll help or not." "Oh, I'm listening either way." "I haven't been able to get your parallel universe theory to work." "Oh." "Yeah. Most of the stability parts, what you're describing, just doesn't fit with anything really." "Let's see. I mean, we'll come up with another theory, but it sounds like we've been able to explain everything so far." Yeah, you're right. "Take a few days off. You said I'd die in 2 years, right? We still have time." "Yeah, I'll do that." Dr. Gupta was approved for a vacation between 2018-07-19 and 2018-07-26. Addendum 5552-3. On 2018-07-24, Site 72 experienced a mass alteration to its molecular structure, as well as the molecular structure of all personnel and materials within. This alteration resulted in all affected materials taking on a charcoal-like structure that collapsed into a liquid state when disturbed. Dr. Gupta ended his vacation early, taking over the Kronos project and moving on to Site 53. Oh. Next document. This is document 5 out of 6. Item number SCP-5552. Object class Euclid. Special containment procedures. Research is to continue into the stabilization of 5552 affected particles. Description: 5552 refers to the order of a particle. Order is a measurement of how well the position, velocity and rotation of a particle can be predicted given the state of the universe at the time of the Big Bang. Since the state of any individual particle is influenced by its collisions with nearby particles, the introduction of low-order particles will result in lowering the order of the entire system. Macrostructures with order below a certain threshold will lose temporal stability. This lack of stability immediately results in a breaking and rearrangement of bonds between the particles to keep them anchored in their current position and trajectory along the temporal axis. This manifests in the creation of a black powdery substance that occupies the same space as the structure at the time of stability loss, but will collapse into a liquid-like state upon disturbance. The transformation is termed wilting. As in the wilt particle. 2018-04-16 update. I was going to patch this to Cindy today, but apparently the whole neighbourhood wilted last night. 46 houses, 166 casualties. The Foundation is trying to play it off as a fire. I guess this means I'm in charge of the Kronos project again. Although I don't want to rush it. Not this time. I just keep diving back into the past, but not this time. This time I'm waiting until I know my theory works, but I think I can figure something out. There's something about this one that just feels right. 2018-05-03 update. I'm finally ready to start making the models. I've tried running my theory by Dr. Green. He couldn't find anything immediately wrong, but then again he specialises in generalised reality disturbances, so this isn't exactly his field. In fact, I don't think there's anyone who specialises in this field. Well, Cindy used to. Either way, I'm ready to start putting together the models. If there's somewhere that my theories fall apart, it's here. 2018-06-18 update. The northern wing of Site 72 wilted today. Luckily none of my equipment was stored there, but they're moving everyone to Site 53 anyways. They gave me the same office as last time too. I'm going to start building the BTTD now. I don't want to be screwed when this place also wilts. 2018-07-23 update. I haven't made any progress. Fucking nothing. This modelling software Cindy used is so damn confusing. Every time I get past one error message it throws another at me, or I learn that I had the equations wrong. 2018-09-02 update. I've been thinking about this for a while and I don't know why I haven't wilted yet. In fact, I don't know how I don't wilt the moment I activate the time machine. Everything around me seems to collapse, but I'm fine. Why am I fine? I shouldn't be fine. Maybe the models will give me some insight. I got Dr. Green to help me make the models run. Now all I have to do is play with the parameters until I get a lock on what makes this theory tick. 2018-09-26 update. I don't know how Cindy ever did this. There's so many constants, so many variables to tune. I've looked back at her notes and they make no sense. She eliminates so many possibilities so quickly. There's some sort of an art to this I can never grasp or understand. She was so good at this. 2018-10-08 update. I think I know why I'm stable. There's only been one variable changing between each iteration. It's me. Which would imply that I should be the one wilting. I should be the one crumbling, destabilizing, collapsing into a puddle of particles. But what if my order from previous jumps carries over? What if I'm being held together by the order from my original timeline? But then if everything in any given timeline should have stable order, and I have stable order then, the wilting must be coming from me. I'm destabilizing the timeline here, which is dumb now that I write it out. Of course it was all me. Of course this is all my fault. Of course I'm the reason Cindy turns into a pile of fucking ashes every time I try to fix everything. 2018-12-01 update. Screw it. I can't get the mods to work. Ominous thunderous sound right then. They finished the BTTD yesterday, so I'm going back in time getting Cindy to do it. Then we'll be able to fix everything. I just need her help. Next and final document. Oh my god, this starts out well. Item number SCP-5552. Object class Cater. Special containment procedures. Oh, fuck it. I was wrong. Everything had wilted by the time I arrived. I drove to Site 72. The whole southern side of the building had already crumbled into black tarry mess. There were a few guards out front trying to keep civilians out, but other than them, the whole site was empty. They let me back in to get my stuff. Apparently this time the Kronos project made faster process than last time. The time machine was mostly done. As a bonus, we reconstructed the walls out of that soft material found at the GOC. I think 6 timelines ago now? There's still food in the cafeteria. I think I'm going to hold up here for a while. The place still has power, probably because the Foundation doesn't want to take any risks and let something escape from here that might have gone to take them with them. I can't stop working. I need to fix my theory, and then I'll fix everything else. The process is going even slower now. I don't think I can even get these models to work for me the same way Cindy did. I read through some of the reports of wilting in other parts of the world. A long stretch of land in France, 2 towns in Thailand, and the entirety of K2 are gone. I'm afraid the next time I look out the window, instead of seeing the forest behind Site 72, I'll see scorched ground and crumbling trees. Soft walls here seem fitting. I think something about the materials is resistant to wilting, but really it just contributes to the insane asylum feel. All I'm missing is a straitjacket. My order theory is finally dead, and no, not because I got the models to work. My pocket watch wilted. I'd had that since I was 16 when my grandfather gave it to me, and now it's just black dust. I'm back at square one. No theory, no models, not even someone to bounce ideas off of. I've taken to talking to myself to get my ideas out of my head, but that only works so well. It's funny, because of all the clocks in this place stopped working weeks ago, the only reliable time-telling device I have left in my computer, and honestly, I'm beginning to suspect its time zone is drifting. I googled Jonathan Wendell on a whim. Most of what I read just made me mad. Got his PhD from Stanford in theoretical physics. He has tenure at Caltech, leading a joint project with Oxford on time travel. A lot of papers published, a lot of talks given. But then I started reading about his personal life. Turns out, he never owned a dog. So then how did he come up with the name Wilt? I got the name originally from him, but where did he get it from? I mean, I have a theory. All I'm good for is theories. But I've been using wilting to describe the destabilization process. It's just an accurate description for a phenomenon. Wilt. Everything turns black and then collapses, like a flower in winter, wilting away. I remember Cindy wanted to go back in time and do everything over again. She wanted to kick me off the project, wipe her memories and solve the problem herself. It was a clever idea. Set up everything to be just the way you would have wanted it, and then forget what happens next so you can experience it for yourself anew. What if I've seen all this before? What if Cindy saw all this before? What if the only way to stop it was to stop us from inventing time travel in the first place? We'd go back, give Wendell our research, but not proper numbers. He published first, then perished first when he makes a machine. We think our theory was wrong. We'd stop. God, we're too clever for ourselves. Except I can't prove it. I can't prove jack shit. Maybe he doesn't have a dog in his timeline because he had a dog in that one. Or maybe he just came up with a name on his own in a happy little coincidence. It's just a theory. Just another useless theory. I miss Cindy. I hate this. I have nothing. I feel close to my idea and it slips out of my fingers and I lose my train of thought entirely. I've been here for far too long. I'm banging my head against the walls. I don't even feel anything yet because they're so soft. There has to be a reason. I'm able to travel back in time reliably and yet I can't explain why. It's pathetic. I'm not even used to doing this on my own. It's not like I was ever able to solve these problems on my own. It was our theory after all. It took 2 of us to solve. Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe the theory is mocking me for trying to solve it myself, running me through a maze with no exit. It was kind of silly for us to think that we'd be able to travel back in time in the first place, wasn't it? That we wouldn't be able to make it work even though no one else has. Maybe things would be better without our theory. You know, that doesn't sound so bad. I've little else left to lose. Open current SCP-5552 documentation. Item number SCP-5552. Object class safe. Special containment procedures. All SCP-5552 instances are to remain Level 4 classified. Description: 5552 refers to a series of 6 documents that appeared within the Site-72 database on 2020-04-14. All documents appear to be related to 5552, a previously unassigned SCP slot. The documentation itself has not demonstrated anomalous properties, however all have been tagged with an upload timestamp of 13:43:28, which has been estimated to be the same time as when Dr. Naman Gupta began talk at the 6th International Conference on Physics titled A Comprehensive Theory on Bidirectional Temporal Travel. Bidirectional Temporal Travel. Investigation has been launched into possible anomalous phenomenon connected with 5552. However, no conclusive evidence could be found to corroborate details with these documents. To avoid possible time continuity errors, parties mentioned within SCP-5552 were not informed nor directly questioned about the contents of 5552. The main anomalous property of these documents is their unexplained appearance within the Site-72 database. Addendum 5552-1. On 2020-05-02, Foundation satellites detected a large visual black disturbance in Nunavut, Canada. An area of 20 acres of land has become entirely black, including all flora and fauna residing in the area. GOC resources informed the Foundation this was a result of a catastrophic failure during an attempt to realise Dr. Naman Gupta's research. As a result of this interview, Dr. Alan Green was directed to reopen investigation into 5552. Below is Dr. Green's interview with Dr. Cindy Helsman that took place on 2020-05-06, under the guise of a post-mortem for her Cronus project. Hello, Cindy. Hey, Alan. I know it's been rough, losing the project and all. Let's just get through this wrap-up interview quickly. Seems a little late to reassign me 2 weeks ago. It is, but you know how the bureaucracy here goes. Whatever, there isn't much to wrap anyway, go ahead. Does the term wilt sound familiar to you? Not really. What about a Wendell conduit? Haven't heard that either, am I supposed to? You're doing fine, don't worry about it. Now, do you know a Dr. Naman Gupta? Yes, he's the lead author on the GOC project paper about time travel. Have you actually met Dr. Gupta? No, honestly, I still haven't ever seen him talk. That's understandable. He died recently, right? Yes, he did. There was an accident when he was testing his time machine. Huh. Is everything okay, Cindy? I don't get it. You don't get what? She wipes her eyes in. I'm crying, Alan. Why am I crying? Green walks to the other side of his desk and puts his arm around Helsman. I have a theory, but I don't think it's important. Not everything needs an explanation. Holy shit! That was the end of it. Fucking hell, that one was good! Jesus! Damn, Pokey, you really do find amazingly written ones. Jesus. That definitely was a Pokey classic. That definitely was a Pokey classic. Okay, next up we have got 2686 from Nia, and then after that is 018 from DJ. DJ does say that the one from Nia was a small... no, the one from him was a small one. Sorry, not the one from Nia. Pokey's all... Yeah, that is very good. That was really good. Okay. Yeah, I got a headache from it, sadly. Yeah, it is one of those ones which, if you need to take a break and work out some of the things that have happened, you do need to, because otherwise it can just get really confusing. But that was so good. That was so good. I really enjoyed that. Okay, 2700 and scroll upwards to 2686. Moon Wizard. Let's just accept that from Nia. Thank you. Okay. I might open up redemptions for maybe one more after 018, depending on how long this one and 018 are. Item number SCP-2686. Object class Euclid. Special containment procedures. Due to its static and distant nature, complete containment of SCP-2686-1 and subsequently 2686 is not at this time feasible. However, as a result of 2686-1's proximity to Outpost Thoth-1, observation equipment has been located near 2686-1 and personnel are to observe the area for any significant changes in conditions or unusual behaviour on the part of 2686. Seems to be a good session thus far. It has. It really has. We got spooky stuff, chilling stuff, well written stuff, and some really hilarious ones. I approve. Back out some time. How did time wind myself go? Chilling by the end of it. Kipper, go to another dimension and wilt. Fuck off. Yeet! He landed on the suitcase I brought back from my parents. Like literally bounced off the wall, bounced off my bed and landed on the suitcase. It would have been really scary if he'd landed on his feet, but he hasn't. He's landed on his side, so that's not so bad. Lovely. Yeah, it was a very good read. It was a very, very good read, yeah. And welcome back, by the way. Additionally, personnel from Outpost Thoth 1 are to travel via a signed rover to 2686-1 on a weekly basis in order to evaluate the status of 2686. All images captured of 2686-1 by non-Foundation organisation are to be edited in accordance with security regulation document Thoth 1F. By the usual for Pokemon and SCPs. Yeah, it's true, yeah. It was definitely along the lines of SCP 5000. 5000 and 5552 shared a very, very strong theme and very, very a lot of similarities. But then I suppose all the series do share a theme, so that's understandable. Description: 2686 is an adult male human, estimated to be approximately 75 years of age, currently located at Redacted within Mare Imbrium on the lunar surface. This location is designated as 2686-1 and is detailed below. 2686 is itself not visibly biologically anomalous, though has claimed in past interviews to possess anomalous capabilities, primarily those generally assigned in Welsh traditions originating in the early Middle Ages as belonging to a magician or wizard. These anomalous abilities include the ability to travel large distances instantaneously, the ability to project energy towards a target, the ability to transform its body at will into the shape of various animals, and several others. None of the abilities have at any point been observed by Foundation personnel. 2686 has, at the time of writing, only been seen to wear a single blue-green robe of coarse wool and a small grey nightcap. 2686 is also known to at times carry a moderately sized, as in 85 to 90 centimeters, piece of oak wood which it uses as a walking cane. The entity will respond to most lines of inquiry, but will not answer any questions regarding its origins or nature in a direct manner, instead attempting to change the line of discussion to subjects of religion, mythology, folklore, philosophy, or historical events, both anomalous and mundane. The entity acts in a non-hostile manner when interviewed, but will refuse any suggestions by Foundation personnel that it leave 2686-1. I think I'm going to chill my head with some Mass Effect 2. Have a good rest of the stream. No problem at all, Widgren. Thanks very much for coming along, and have yourself a good one. It's Mirrodin. Yeah. 2682-1 is a spherical area of radius of 45 meters located at Redacted on the lunar surface. The area has been reported by 2686 to possess an atmosphere identical to that of Earth, but this cannot be confirmed due to the nature of the region. Objects which enter the area of 2686-1 are immediately transported to the opposite side of the region without interfacing with the intervening space. 2686 has reported this effect does not persist on the inside of 2686-1. The area encompassed by 2686-1 contains a large amount of soil and grass, along with various trees, primarily oak and ash, as well as a small residence constructed of a mixture of wood, thatch and stone. The exact architecture of the structure does not specifically match any styles found on Earth, although the design is in line with what would have been required by a single person living in a rural area. 2686 has at several points been observed to produce food from within the structure, including fresh meats, footnote of meats noted by observers to consist of various livestock and reported by 2686 to also include gazelle, caribou, blue whale and griffin. Griffin! Time travel, you head hurt. If it's not explained properly, time travel can be like, what? Weirdly enough, the game's singularity does it very well. It's tricky. The game's tricky, even on easy difficulty, but still really good. Fruits which could not reasonably have been acquired in the area or stored for the amount of time which 2686-1 has been under observation. When questioned about this, 2686 has claimed that said food was acquired by a cat, apparently named Commodore Buckles. Commodore Buckles, which 2686 has referred to as its animal companion. This entity has at no time been observed by Foundation personnel or by autonomous observation equipment. Interviewed 2686 interviewer agent redacted. forward. As part of the initial containment, Foundation personnel were tasked with interviewing the entity in an attempt to establish its history. The following interview was conducted by personnel stationed at Outpost Thoth 1 3 days following discovery of 2686-1. Fuck everyone. Babylon 5 did time travel quite well as season 1 of the episodes. Oh, nice. Oh my good god. Hello, sir. Do you mind if I ask your name? I am known as the Great Wizard Nefarious, Lord of the Moon and Stars Above. I see. And could you describe for me how it is you came to reside on the surface of the moon? You dare question me, mortal man! If you don't want to tell us, that's perfect, all right. Now, moving on. Wait. You're giving up just like that? Don't even want to ask me for my ancient wisdom? Maybe seek the secrets of the stars and of your future? Not particularly. Mostly just taking down physical information at this point in time. Now then, if you could provide us with your date and place of birth, How dare you! I will have you know that in my day, I was the greatest wizard of them all! Thousands sought my wisdom and magic to help them in their noble quests. Only the most powerful could reach my ancient wizardly sanctum atop the highest mountain in the land. But still, there were too many, and I used my awesome might to transport my home to this distant land, where only the truest of hearts could seek my wisdom. Let's picture this guy's Merlin from Shrek. Yeah, I can see why. I see. And when would you say that this change in location occurred? I have lived in this land for nigh on 300 years, growing in power every day. Zero, hello and welcome. Stopping into bitch while I've been put on the subject, then coming to bed. Had so many foreigners coming to the store recently and bitching when asked for one of the 4 acceptable forms of ID we can take because it's not the only thing they have. It isn't the only one they have. Google screenshots of the NC law and so what we can take and say the screenshots of them now have to show them when they bitch. Pisses me them off and they can fuck off. I mean, yeah, if they're not going to be following the law, then you know they've got no right to complain. And you know, also, you didn't make the rules and the laws. You're just enforcing them because you have to. Bring it to me and you can get a fucking beer. Yeah. Get the fucking passport you brought with you. Happy house to US with. Yeah, passport is an acceptable thing. Let's talk about coaching because it's Literally has someone say the US fucking sucks because of it. Wow, the US sucks because you need to provide a identification to buy an age-restricted product. That's not just the US. Most places do that. And in that time period, how many persons visited the location? An approximate figure would be fine. Oh, well, you see, the thing about that, there haven't actually been any, save you. Surely you've got a quest you need in Aiden, yes? Well, we could use some biographical information, if that wouldn't be too much trouble. I'd hardly call that a quest. Only the truest of heroes deserve my power. Hey, now, there are a lot of valid reasons why the US sucks, but that's not one of them. Yeah, very true, yeah. I have to search for a reason. Why make one up? Yup. Then why do you not just go back to wherever it is you came from? I don't think you'll be getting much anyone here, do you? It's a bit out of the way, isn't it? Thing is, though, I am a moon wizard after all. Yes, and that means my power is divine from the light of the moon above, you know. Right, and we're on the moon itself after all. I see, where the moonlight is rather below. Indeed. End log. Closing statements. It has been determined that SCP-2686 in its current state possesses no actual threat to the Foundation or its holdings, but steps should be taken to ensure that it does not leave the surface of the moon. That was good. I think I might have made it slightly jokey with the voice I chose to use for the wizard, but that was still kind of good. That's still really quite good. Okay, next up we have SCP-018, and I think we might have time for one more after that. Yeah, I think I'll unfreeze the command, and the first one that gets in will be the one gets read, and others will be refunded. Oh, really? No super long ones, Pokey. I only want to be doing this for another half hour. and Nia jumps in with 426. Oh, thank you, Nia. I will now re-pause them. So SCP-426 is the next one. Just double check that I haven't read that one before. Nope. Nope, 426 is a new one. Your toast, Malk. Oh, good God, no. Don't remind me about toast. Not after the Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion stream. No, good God, no. 018. So that's a series one. That's one not really near the beginning. Super Bowl. Right. So that's change this around to current one being 018 and SCP 2426. Okay. If I'm toast, that means I'm purebred. Oh, that was Maury. Hello and welcome, Maury. You tried to scare me with the baby thing. Torian, if you're still around, could you turn those off, please? I don't know how. They've been there for a week now. After spooky season. Sort of. Thank you for the hydration, DJ. Yes, hello there, you cheeky little gremlin. Right, item number SCP-018. My good God, there's a lot of redactions in this. Object class, Euclid. Special containment procedures. 018 is to be contained within its speciality metal restraint inside of a 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter sealed box lined with heavy synthetic padding. The sealed box is then submerged in the center of the 10 meter by 10 meter by 10 meter polythene holding tank. If SCP-018 is to break free from the holding box, the polythene-based goo will slowly down the kinetic activity enough for proper retrieval by containment personnel. Excuse me. Personnel entering SCP-018's holding chamber are to wear specialised plating found inside of 018 observation, and a breathing apparatus before being lowered into the polythene tank. If 018 is loose outside of the polythene tank, personnel are advised to secure themselves in a separate room and close doorways or hatches to isolate 018 until containment teams arrive. Disabled. Thank you very much, Torium. Maury got in the last boo baby, which, you know, being that sometimes she cries like a baby when people are even slightly mean to her on stream. It's fitting. Always goes, me, 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 me. Adorable Gram. Description. 018 has the appearance of a Super Bowl made by the Whammo Company in 1969. It is 6 centimeters in diameter and coloured red. Found when the Redacted Company was hired to clean out a warehouse that had Whammo merchandise in it. 018 was noted to be able to bounce with extreme height, at first thought to be a pleasant child's toy. 018 was able to bounce with over 200% efficiency, that is, if dropped 1 meter it would bounce 2 meters, then 4, then 8, then 16. The ball soon became a dangerous projectile, reaching speeds estimated at over 100 kilometers an hour and damaging property and injuring 5 in the city of Redacted. It came to a rest after several days in the nearby lake of Redacted and was retrieved by SCP personnel. Due to the speed of the object and the total surprise by its victims, no cover-up story was required or initiated. Super Bowl is fun, the SCP games for all the students. Yeah, I can definitely see. Document 01804. Message to 05. Redacted. I hope everything is well. The reason I write to you is because I believe I have found a more effective method for retrieving new or escaped SCP objects. Yes, I realise we haven't had any progress in reverse engineering whatever allows this thing to defy the laws of thermodynamics, but we have come up with a very effective method for integrating one of those new SCP-A5 armour suits with this. Just hear me out. We implant it into the bottom of a boot, rig up a little bit of a mechanical device, and ta-da, the suit is now capable of jumping well over a building. Also, if the wearer has their foot against something they want dead, well, let's just say it delivers a hell of a kick. All I need is permission to modify one of the pre-existing SCP-A5 suits, and you'll be able to actually capture Redacted, plus any other escaped SCP objects. Trust me, when have I let you down in the past? Dr. Redacted. Document 01806, Letter to Dr. Redacted. Dr. Redacted. Upon assignment, Agent Redacted was issued your modified SCP-A5 armor in retrieving SCP blank, and the results are mixed. Agent blank was able to place the redacted collar onto SCP blank, chase it through the Amazon, and restrain it by dismemberment. However, due to a malfunction of your little mechanical device, he was launched almost a mile into the air and suffered 2 broken legs, 7 broken rims, and a missing arm, and a skull fracture upon hitting the water of Lake Blank. On the way back down, you will fix that before I authorize your armor for common use. Document 01811, message to 05. Blank. Don't worry, it's fixed. But I have some more ideas. If I could be granted that use of some water from SCP-006, SCP blank, and possibly SCP blank, I can deliver to you a set of SCP-A5 armor and an agent that can capture any, if not all, rogue or unattained SCPs. All I'm waiting on is your approval. Wow. Wow. That was fun. I like that. They never saw him again. I also do need to, at one point, I keep saying this, I want to record the other SCP sessions I didn't do. I also want to record myself reading the list of things Dr. Bright is not allowed to do, because those are fucking hilarious. Okay, so we want 426 now. And let's just change this to 426. Next SCP is none ending. There we go. And I will accept that redemption. So thank you, Nia, for seeing us out with 426. This guy is almost as dumb as the other guy who tried to have 682 not kill kids by trucking them. Wow. SCP-426. I am a toaster. It's a fairly short one. Item number SCP-426. Object class Euclid. Special containment procedures. I am to be sealed in a chamber with no windows through which I may be viewed. The door to my chamber must have a label completely unrelated to my designation or identity in order to prevent unintended spread of my primary effect. Only level 3 and above personnel are to know of my presence, and particularly of my properties. Assigned personnel are to be rotated out on a monthly basis to prevent contamination by my secondary effect. Psychiatric evaluation is mandatory at the end of the month. If personnel are deemed unaffected, they may be reassigned to me no less than 4 months after the last rotation with me. Any affected personnel are to be given a Class C amnestic and transferred to a different site. This one's already a trip. The SCP is talking to me through this document. 682 termination logs are alright, yeah. I don't know actually. I've actually not read 682. Like, of the ones that I consider to be the main massive classics, I've only read one of them on stream. Like, I've not read 087 on stream. I've not read 682. I've read. No, I don't think I've read the Plague Doctor out actually. The only one that I recorded I've read on stream out of the big classic ones is the one where if you see its face in any capacity, it comes for you and kills you. Oh, here there's 2 new 001 proposals. Nice. Oh no. Sorry, Malk, when I said you're toast, you actually meant I'm a toaster. Ah. 096. Yeah. I've definitely read 096 on stream. When though? What? Apparently I haven't. According to the list I've got, I have not read 096. Yes, I know I have read 096 on stream. That's a bugger. I know I've read 096 before. I know I've read it on stream. I just don't know which one. It must be in one of the first 2 streams when I got partial lists of what was written or read. I'm gonna pop it somewhere into the second stream then. SCP-096. There we go. Right. Description. Hello, I'm SCP-426. I must be introduced this way in order to prevent ambiguity. I am an ordinary toaster, able to toast bread when supplied with electricity. However, when any human being mentions me, they inadvertently refer to me into the first person. Despite all attempts, there has yet to be a way to speak or write about me in the third person. Oh, bollocks. It's classic. I remember you reading about him ripping through a whole town. Yeah, like, it happened. I read 096. But I know I definitely haven't read like 682 on stream. There's a fair few of the classic ones I have not read. I've not read the very first SCP, which I think is 137. So I don't think I've read the statue that moves when you don't look at it. I know I've not read Mallow. I have read 096. I've not read 682, the immortal reptile. I've not read 087, the staircase. 173, yeah. That's a damn foundation of mystics. You've read 999. Which one's 999? Yes, I'm very certain I have read 999. Yeah, second stream, the first one I read was SCP-999. I just got no idea which one that was. I've read The Stripper Club. That was weird. Little Ball Group of Happiest. Oh, yes, that one. Yeah. Feels like peanut butter. Yes, I remember that one. And of course, I've read one of the SCP-001 proposals, When Day Breaks. That was a trip. I think that was the first introduction to a true pokey recommendation. That was really a trip. When in my continuous presence for over 2 months, individuals begin to identify themselves as a toaster. Unless forcibly restrained, these people will ultimately harm themselves in their attempts to emulate my standard functions. I was discovered in the home of the Redacted family after the gruesome deaths of 3 of its members. I have been given to the younger Mr. and Mrs. Redacted as a wedding gift. No card or any identifying marks have been found on my box. Approximately 2 months after the family received me, fire crews were dispatched to the home due to an electric fire. The younger Mrs. Blank died from the electric discharge that it caused when attempting to devour an electric socket. Devour an electric socket! SCP-3001, that was the first Pokey SCP. Oh, it was the second SCP I've ever read out on stream. The first one being 5031. Fair. The other 2 victims had died shortly before the fire occurred. The elder Mrs. Redacted had gorged herself with nearly 10 kilograms of bread before her stomach burst and she died of internal bleeding. The younger Mr. Redacted died of severe blood loss after attempted redacted with me. Oh! The sole survivor was the elder Mr. Redacted, who was suffering severe malnutrition. He stated that he had inserted some bread a week prior and was still waiting for the toast to pop out. Oh. Oh, Death Row, I can never remember which one. There's Red Reality. Oh, I remember Red Reality, yeah. Fucking toaster there. This is just... Oh, God. What the fuck? I agree, Shin. I agree. I was confiscated by the Foundation after police noticed my unusual properties. A Class C amnestic was administered to the affected ossifers. Anything else on a high note? Yeah. Experiment log 426-1. Date redacted. Subject D-Class personnel D4261. Procedure. D4261 was asked to describe what he believed was contained in my chamber. He was not informed about my identity or properties. Details. D4261 stated, I'm probably some huge monster holed up in there. That's what you guys have all over the place, right? D4261 remained oblivious to his use of the first person pronoun. Oh, death was 2935. When did I do 2935? Right after 999. On the second stream. Nice. Experiment log 426-2. Date redacted. Subject D-Class personnel 426-2. Procedure 426-2 was placed in my chamber and given regular meals through a dispenser. No communication with 426 was permitted. Multiple cameras were situated in the chamber, positioned so that I was out of their field of vision, but allowed constant observation of 426-2. We remained sealed until my secondary effect manifested in the subject. I was bolted to the floor as I could not be moved into a camera's view. Details. After 45 days of isolation, 426 wrapped his arm around me and began conversing with me, stating that we were brothers. 426-2 never deviated from using the first person plural when speaking with me. Subject was terminated 1 hour after this event. It is theorized that the isolation accelerated the progression of my secondary effect. Experiment log 426-3. Date redacted. Subject D-Class personnel 426-3. Procedure. A screw was removed from me and shown to D426-3, who was asked to describe it. 426-3 was not informed about my identity or properties. Details. 426-3 referred to it as my screw, consistent with experiment 46-1. The subject was oblivious of his use of the first person in his description. This suggests that even if I were destroyed, my effects would still be inherent in my remains. Oh. Experiment log 426-4. Date redacted. Subject D-Class personnel 426-4. Procedure 426-4 was placed in an isolation in a cell adjacent to my chamber to be observed until my secondary effect manifests. Details. No effects appeared. 426-4 was terminated 90 days after the start of the experiment. Thank God there are some limits to my effects. A lot of us were really starting to get to worry about me. Dr. C. Fuck. Fuck. And that's the end of it. That was the end of that one. That's the end of the, so I'm going to be ending things today as well. So yeah, that's been fun. That's been really fun. That was a nice good assortment of SCPs. Some which were half funny, half serious. Some which were serious. Some which were absolute spine-chilling, and some that were just completely off the wall, bonkers hilarious. It is possible that SCP-426 might result in an XK end of reality. We're all toast scenario. God damn it, Nia. Oh my good God. And on that, I have to say, the VOD title of this is going to be Time for Toast. Because it encompasses the time SCP and also Toast. Because, yeah. But yeah, that is, you're never eating toast again. I really want some toast now, but I'm afraid to use the toaster. Oh, God. TSK scenario. Oh, God. Yeah, so that's where I'm going to be ending things for today. Thank you very much all for coming along and for your support. It's been enjoyable. It's greatly appreciated. It's been amazing. And DJ Paper smacks in the air. Next stream for me is going to be Saturday with Sekiro at 4 PM GMT for 3 hours. Then for another 3 hours after that will be Monster Hunter World with Mal and Tyr. Excuse me. I'm not going to do the Final Fantasy XIV stream in Discord after this because my throat hurts because I've been talking too much. I might do that next week. I might do that next week of streaming Final Fantasy XIV in my server for however long on Thursday because it'll be my day off. End of the world. Oh, end of the world is XK. Oh, end of reality is ZK. End of the world is XK. Ah. Just going to recommend when was the next SCP stream. No idea. I will see if... Actually, hang on, let me see. Can I put up another challenge in the racking? Should be able to. Oh, maybe not. No, I don't think I can. I'll have a look. I'll have a look, but I'll see. I'm not so sure that I can. Channel points... No, I've got 3 going at the moment. So yeah, because the way that the Twitch challenges work, I can only have 3 in the racking at any time, whether they're active or not or completed. So when the VTuber stream one is completed, I'll be able to complete that, take it off the racking, do the VTuber stream, and then the next one I put up will probably be another SCP stream. Because they do seem to be one of my most popular ones. So after the VTuber stream, I'll do a drunk stream challenge, which will probably take place either later this month or possibly early December. Who knows? Should I change to leave it at 69%? I know, it's like it's the eternal thing. Do you want a VTuber or do you want the nice status? Decisions. Yeah, right. I'm going to be sucking on one of these. A budget strepsil. Let's see, is there anyone that we can raid online at the moment? I don't think I'm actually following anyone online who's on. No, got no one I follow who's online. Oh well. Funny number. But yeah, I do recommend if you do have any SCPs that you want to recommend for me to read out, jot them down somewhere that you'll remember to open when the next one comes around. I do tend to try and do them during the daytime, seeing as more people are available to come and watch them. But yeah, and they're usually on Thursdays, unless I can think of a daytime stream to replace with the SCP stream because it seems better. So somebody follow all the people. It's fair. So logged on to DXL Stadium. Your strength is 60. Your Dex is 55. Jesus fuck. I haven't even installed it yet. But yeah, Dark Souls 3 has taken the place of the Wednesday evening stream slot now because I want a Souls like I'm going to enjoy. And I know I enjoy most of Dark Souls 3. So yeah, that's what we're getting. Yeah, and it's going to be basically me trying to die less times in all instances than I did last time. Well, when it's possible. As in, if I've got 0 deaths to a boss, I'm not going to try and get less than that, because you can't get less than 0 deaths in a boss. But I will have a constant tracker on the screen of my little counter number of my overall deaths for the entire of the run I did, and trying to beat that. And also, when it comes to a boss, I will say my deaths against boss, my target against bosses for how many times I died last time. In fact, whilst I'm on that subject, let me just pull up the death counter and see how many I died overall. Oh, that's not... Oh, wait, no, that's fine. So total deaths, 162. However, the general death count is 114, which means that I need to get less than 162 deaths the entire run. My target is less than 114 deaths outside of bosses. And it's 48 boss deaths in total. I want to try and beat that. And I would like to see if I can beat some of my other ones, like... So here's the thing. There's a few inconsistencies. So me dying against the Curse Rotted Greatwood should not have happened, because I was doing a dex build with Yuchi Katana, which is nowhere near as good in Dark Souls 3. And I died 6 times to the Abyss Watchers because, again, I was using Yuchi Katana, I was nowhere near as good, and I pretty much almost rage quit at that point. I then made a new character, made a strength build, got up to the Abyss Watchers, and streamed and killed them immediately. Almost 50 vitality, endurance, and stamina. Jesus fuction, you got a high level character. You'll be able to whop anything. Although, to be fair, I think you get scaled down if you join my world. I think. Please save my murderous advice there. First image of my sets of Discord lasers. Yeah, go for it, Jim. Dark Souls 3, a lot of it is I do know the game. But I do still have instances where I've forgotten stuff. I'm going to try and keep the route the same. So at the very least I encounter the bosses in the same order. Which is it gets strange at certain times, but I can tell from my the boss list of which way round I went. You'll get scared down there. That's what's fine, I guess. Yeah, you'll still be able to do silly amounts of damage to the bosses, and probably any of them that I am actually struggling with, you'll be able to completely and utterly trivialise. But still, it'll also be fun. Shin will be Dark Souls 3 Pokey. Yeah, unless Pokey's Dark Souls 3 Pokey. I think Pokey and Mal are both there as well. Well, as long as there's no elevator shafts. Elevator shafts are Mal's bane. But yeah, that's where I'm going to be ending things for now. Thank you all very much for coming along, and I'll see you in the next stream on Saturday, again at 4 PM GMT. I'm slowly getting used to saying GMT again after 6 months of BST. Pokey doesn't have Dark Souls 3. I don't know why I thought you did. I really don't. It must have been because I did the entire stream of Bloodborne with you and just got used to having you alongside in Souls likes. Might have been that. Oh, you weren't for the whole of that. You were there for like the second half of it. That was fun. Gravity makes Gale tremble. Yeah. These are boobs. I think that's lightning or thunder. It could also be just a nearby industrial place dropping something. Don't know. But anyway, I'm going to hop off. Thank you all very much for coming along. Until the next stream, I hope you have yourselves a good rest of your day, a good night, a good evening, a good morning, or a good afternoon. Well, the time zone is for you. They try glass so much as Thunderbolts and lightning very frightening you. Galileo Figaro. Me. Stay safe and see you later. Bye.